in accordance with Americans with Disabilities Act of 1990. If you require a disability-related modification or accommodation to attend or participate in this meeting, including auxiliary aids or services, please call the City Clerk's office at 310-952-1720 at least 48 hours prior to the meeting. Public information. The public may address the members of the City Council on any matters within the jurisdiction of the City Council or on any items on the agenda of the City Council during the designated public comment periods. There will be 2 oral communication sessions, one for agendized items, comment about items on the agenda, and the other for non-agendized items, comments about items not on the agenda. The oral communication portion of the agenda is limited to a duration of 1 hour unless otherwise approved by the City Council. Comment time is normally 3 minutes, depending on the number of speakers. Public viewing available by live stream on the city's website. The meeting will be streamed live over the internet, www.carsonca.gov, or on YouTube, www.youtube.com/c/City of Carson, California, official YouTube page. Cable Spectrum, Channel 35, and AT&T, Channel 99. If you are unable to attend the meeting in person, public comments can be submitted before the meeting. Email. Public comments can be emailed to cityclerk@carsonca.gov. The cutoff time to submit any email communications is 3 p.m. on the day of the meeting. Written communications can be dropped off at the City Clerk's office at City Hall. The cutoff time to submit any written communications is 3 p.m. on the day of the meeting. Written communications dropped off at the City Clerk's office or any email received will not be read aloud at council meetings, but will be circulated to City Council and incorporated into the minutes. In accordance, we're calling to order the City Council Successor Agency Housing Authority Public Financing Authority. Today is June 3rd, 2025. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Councilwoman Rojas.
Present.
Councilman Deere.
Present.
Councilman Hilton. Mayor Pro Tem Hicks.
Present.
Mayor Davis Holmes.
Present. We'll have a flag salute by Councilman Deere.
Please stand if you're able and put your right hand over your heart and face the American flag. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. Thank you.
Invocation by Pastor Mildred Boyd from Christ Christian Center. How are you?
Praise the Lord, everybody.
Praise the Lord.
Amen.
Praise the Lord.
This is the day the Lord made, and He wants us to rejoice and be glad. Yes. Amen. I just have to recognize and acknowledge Mayor Lula Davis. We love you. Every time you drive down the street, it's easy now. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you, all the councilmen and Mayor Pro Tem Cedric Hicks, right? Amen.
That's
and we have another council member, Mr. Jim Deere. Good to see you.
good to see you as well.
Amen. And we have Dr. my bishop, Dr. I wrote it down because I'm 82 years old, so be with me. Amen. Councilman, okay, we have Councilman Dr. Jawan Hilton, and we have Council Member Aline. Love you all. God love us. Carson is beautiful. God have kept Carson. We had no disasters here. God have kept us. We're a rich city, and I came to bless the city and pray and sure everybody else is praying. I thank the Lord for giving us councilmen and a mayor that care about Carson. I've been in Carson for 46 years. Amen. My husband passed away, so I'm pastoring a church, so pray for me. as we pray. Father, we thank you this evening. We thank you what you have done for Carson. We thank you we have seen you protect Carson. You haven't allowed us to have any disasters. We thank you, Father, for what you have done. We thank you that you have leaders. You have set them here to carry out this city. We thank you for our police department, all the staff here, and all of everybody. I just said we thank you for them. You have placed them here, and we thank you now, Father, that you are looking over Carson. You've been so good to us. We could shout the victory. And we thank you what you're going to do. We thank you what you're doing right now. And we thank you what you have already done. We praise you. We're not ashamed to praise you because you've been good to us. We thank you for the pastors of this city, the churches, and we just thank you for everybody in Carson. We thank you, Lord, again, that you have kept Carson. You haven't allowed anything to happen that we couldn't handle. So we praise you. We give you the glory, and we cover Carson with the blood of Jesus. We cover each person. We thank you that our mayor has strength. She has wisdom. We thank that the councilman has wisdom because you have given it to them. Now we thank you and give you praise. In Jesus' name, can the church say amen?
Amen. Amen. Hallelujah. Oh, we're going to bite you back again. All right. Closed session items 2 to 5. Madam Clerk, is there any public comment on closed session items?
No, Madam Mayor.
Madam City Attorney, report out on closed session, please.
That's a tough act to follow. Thank you. We will hold a closed session pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9D1 to confer with with counsel regarding Cam Carson versus City of Carson, case number 20 STCB 16461. The council will meet pursuant to the same code section in the matter of Tesoro Refining versus City of Carson, Second Appellate District, case number B335686. The council will meet pursuant to Government Code Section 54957.6 regarding labor negotiations with SEIU, CPSA, American Federation of State, and AFSME, Local 809. Council will meet pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.8 to enable the City Council to consider negotiations and give direction to its negotiator regarding property known as 20700 South Avalon Boulevard, Carson Street. And that concludes my report.
Thank you very much. We're going to recess to closed session. We should be back in about an or less hour.
I think we need the full hour.
We'll be back before 5:30. I mean 6:30. Rules of decorum. No person attending a public meeting will engage in disorderly or boisterous conduct, including but not limited to applause, whistling, stamping of feet, booing, or making any loud, threatening, or profane, abusive, personal, or slanderous utterance that disturbs, disrupts, or otherwise impedes the orderly conduct of the meeting. All remarks by members of the public shall be addressed to the mayor or the chair and not to any other member of the public or any single council, board, or commission member, unless in response to a question that the member. Signs, placards, banners, or other similar items shall not be permitted in the audience during a public meeting. All persons attending a public meeting shall obey any lawful order of the presiding officer to enforce the rules of decorum. Treat everyone courteously, listen to others respectfully, exercise self-control, give open-minded consideration to all viewpoints, focus on the issues and avoid personalizing debate, embrace respectful disagreement and dissent as democratic rights that are inherent components of an inclusive public process and tools for forging sound decisions. Thank you. We convene into open session. City Attorney, report out on closed session items, please.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. A closed session was held pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9D1 to get direction in several litigation matters. They've all been listed as one this time, but there was no reportable action on any of them. A closed session was held pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9A, again, in the matter of Tesoro versus City of Carson. No reportable action was taken. Closed session was held pursuant to Government Code Section 54957.6 regarding labor negotiations. No reportable action was taken. And a closed session was held pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.8 to enable the City Council to consider negotiations regarding real property known as 20700 South Avalon Boulevard, and no reportable action was taken. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we'll have introductions by our captain, Norman of the Carson Sheriff Station.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you for this opportunity, giving me an opportunity to actually share what's been going on at Carson Sheriff's. I wanted to take a moment to introduce our summer enforcement team that has been actively conducting operations and making arrests. They'll be with us. They started May 11th, and they'll continue their journey with here on the summer team through September of 2025. So I'd like to introduce first Sergeant Scott Smith. I have Sergeant Smith.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having us. So my team back here, we're the Carson Station county-funded summer team. Historically, every year, the county will fund extra personnel out there to patrol Carson Station and the unincorporated areas of Carson. Typically, in the summer months, as the temperatures get warmer, we'll see an uptick in crime. So that's our responsibility to be present out there, do extra patrol saturation, and assist our patrol deputies in keeping the crime rate at bay and even lowering it. So thank you. Appreciate for having us.
Thank you.
Deputy Ernesto Damian.
Good evening, Council. Deputy Damian Ernesto. I've been at Carson Station for approximately 3 years now, so I'm appreciative of this opportunity to be on the Carson summer team. So that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Deputy June Lee Dungmeese.
Hello, Council. Deputy June Lee Dungmeese. I've been at Carson for about a year and a half now, and I'm excited to be here.
Thank you. Welcome.
Deputy Randy Ortiz.
Good afternoon, Council. Deputy Ortiz, been with Carson Station now for about 3 years now. Thanks for this opportunity to just help out the community and help out the team out here in Carson.
Thank you. Welcome.
Deputy Julius Sweeney, the second.
Good
Good afternoon, Council. Appreciate the opportunity. I've been at Carson for about a year now. Thankful for this experience.
Thank you and welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
So this is the team that'll be hard at work over the summertime, making sure when we have, as we expect an uptick as far as criminal activity, they're able to mitigate much of that. As far as my report, I have that we've actually attended numerous events during this last couple weeks. We had that includes the Carson Town Hall meetings at Veterans Park and Carson Park. We promoted fireworks safety with Mayor Davis Holmes, as well as a variety of council members, including Councilwoman Bocatia Rojas at Carroldale Town and Broadacres Elementary Schools.
And Carson.
And Carson Elementary School. I realized that there was a huge fire exposition this past weekend. That exposition also included a street racer activity, and that actually occurred at the the northeast side of Avalon and Sepulveda, just behind Scottsdale Estates in that area. My team, actually, several of my teams, including patrol, responded to the area. At the time that they responded, the individuals that were setting the fireworks were actually leaving, and we were more concerned, as was fire, LA County Fire Department, with the fire and putting out the fires. So we are aware that they're still arriving as far as the street racers are concerned, and we will make every effort to make sure that we're addressing that, as well as the fireworks, in which there's quite a bit that's on scheduled to occur as far as the fireworks are concerned. As far as our criminal stats, we have that our robberies we have about 14 of an increase of about 14 total for this time as compared to this time last year. Our strong arm robberies are down about 4.8%. Residential burglaries are down, as well as there's a decrease in vehicle burglaries at about 7%. Our crimes are continuing to trend down at 2.71%. Do you have any questions for me?
I have one question.
Ma'am.
Is it a crime to take packages from people's front porch?
Absolutely.
Oh, well, you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
So when you're caught on camera, I see him sitting at the bus stop now.
We consider that a misdemeanor crime. The individual that reported the crime declined to prosecute.
What? Thank you.
It's a misdemeanor that occurred outside of our presence, so it has to be in the presence of a deputy that a misdemeanor is occurring. We did request to ask if the individual reporting the crime would agree to actually prosecute, and they declined.
Okay, that's good to know.
Madam Mayor, I have a question.
Yes.
You're done. Thank you for a great report, as usual, Captain. Clarification on the summer team you have behind you there.
Yeah.
So the county is allocating special funds for the summer team. So the individuals seem to be already working at the Carson station. So are they the time they would spend normally working at the station, are those individuals being replaced during the summer with new personnel? In other words, bottom line is, have we increased the number of active duty deputies at the Carson station because of the funding from the county on the summer program team?
That's a good question. No, the individuals have not been increased. However, the overtime backfill behind those individuals has been increased.
I see. So that explains it.
We can fill the positions that are allocated to the city of Carson by way of overtime.
So these individuals here today are very dedicated, I see, and I applaud your summer program team.
Thank you, and I'll just make a note that they don't actually respond to calls for service, but they do handle quality of life issues and mitigating crime within both the city and unincorporated areas of the city within Carson's
Very
Sheriff's
good.
Station.
All right, thank you very much.
Quick question, does that enhance, well, I know the additional one, but we still have our park enforcement team.
Oh,
that's-
absolutely.
Okay.
We have both SAL teams that are available, as well as our our parks team, and including our host teams that are available.
Okay. Another question, you kind of mentioned it earlier, the fireworks, we weren't able to cite anyone. I know the fire department was there putting out fires, but where the individuals had left, because I've received several emails, I sent you a few.
Right.
So
There was no citations issued. And the reason that what our response is predominantly to, if we can, stop the crime that's actually happening, which again, it would have been a misdemeanor. They were leaving, so they were no longer actually physically setting the firecrackers, the fireworks. And since we were dealing with what we would consider to be more of a imminent threat, which is the fire, we assisted the fire department in making sure that they could actually put out the fires.
Okay. Okay, we'll talk more. Because because we're having a meeting here soon, I believe. I don't know the date, to reconvene our strategic plan for the fireworks, so.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Any questions from my colleagues? Hearing none. Thank you, Captain.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Oh, we're going to do a quick report from our Assistant Fire Chief Kane of the Los Angeles County Fire Department.
Mayor Pro Tem, members of the council, Assistant Chief Brian Kane, Los Angeles County Fire Department, with your public safety report for the month of May. 928 total calls for service. There were 21 fires reported for this month. One structure fire on Harborview Ave with $35,000 in loss. One vehicle fire, one compactor fire, commercial fire, with $5,000 of loss. One dumpster fire with a little bit of exposure to a building with $500 of loss. And of course, the fireworks that resulted in multiple spot fires that were easily extinguished by our engine company that responded to that incident. And we had 17 outside rubbish and vegetation fires, with 14 of those were by PEH, persons experiencing homelessness. We had 659 EMS-related responses, and we had 471 of those EMS responses requiring ALS interventions by our paramedics. And that is the end of my public safety report, unless you have any questions for me.
I want to say thank you to the team for being at all these elementary schools, which I mean, the kids just loved it, and with the sheriff also. But it was a good fire prevention month. The kids had a ball, and I just want to say thank you, and thank you to everyone that came out. We had a nice team there today also, and you guys have done an excellent job.
Thank you very much for that, and the personnel love to do those things, so anytime you need it, just ask.
Thank you.
Madam Mayor.
Councilman Hicks, MPG Hicks, I'm sorry.
Just had a quick question. Thank you, Captain Kane, Chief Kane. Wanted to question regarding paramedics and ambulance protocol when they go out for emergencies. Do they always run together or just by themselves? Do the paramedics and ambulance are called after the fact?
Okay, so the ambulances are dispatched simultaneously with an engine company and a paramedic rescue unit. So everything responds at the same time from different locations.
Okay, because some of the residents are asking because they're receiving bills and want to know who came first versus them having to pay this medical bill.
Okay, so understand too that the LA County Fire Department, as you know, does not charge. Any subsequent charges are a result of the private ambulance company that was there for transportation services.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any more questions? Well, thank you again, and we will look forward to seeing you.
For sure.
Bye-bye. Next, we're going to do our presentations, items 8 through 15. And as we're walking down, Dr. Homey, I know you have to leave, so we're going to bring you up first, because I know you're a busy person. After Dr. Homey, we're going to go do CCCAF, so you guys start getting ready. Diane Carson Citizens Cultural Arts Foundation. Okay.
Okay. Well, good evening, everybody. Today we are going to celebrate proclamating June 2025 as Men's Health Month. And as we have Dr. Homey, Dr. David Lyons is a family medical physician in South Central who was trained in East LA, where he was the senior resident during the Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's COVID surge before the vaccine. In noting the severe misinformation among the own community, To improve health education and uplift his communities, he created a character called Dr. Homie. Dr. Homie provides knowledge and inspiration through entertainment and blatant information videos in order to maximize people's understanding of their own health and to get people to be more involved in hearing what the message is about health. And whereas the National Men's Health Month, which organized as Men's Health Week in June of 1994, has expanded to a full month dedicating to raising awareness about critical health issues, promoting preventive measures, and encouraging the early detection and treatment of various health conditions affecting men and boys. Whereas Men's Health Week was established by a bill passed by Congress in 1995, commencing the month before Father's Day and concluding on Father's Day itself. This initiative gained global recognition, leading to its expansion to encompassing the entire month of June, thereby allowing for a broader reach and greater scope of advocacy for men's health. And whereas this month provides a vital opportunity to publicly recognize and prioritize the mental and physical well-being of boys and men, it serves as a critical time for men to be positive role models for their children, demonstrating the importance of preventive screening, proactively seeking help when needed, and embracing a health lifestyle. Whereas the City of Carson is committed to fostering a healthy community where all residents, particularly our men and boys, have access to the resources and support necessary to thrive, encouraging preventive care, open conversations about health, and timely interventions can significantly improve health outcomes and the quality of life for individuals, families throughout our city. Now, therefore, the Mayor and the City Council, City of Carson, California, do hereby recognize June 2025 as Men's Health Month, urging all residents, government officials, educators, healthcare providers, and community organizations to join in celebrating this important month by increasing awareness of men's unique health challenges. We encourage all men and boys who care for themselves to prioritize their health by scheduling preventive screening and actively practicing healthy living, fostering an environment where men feel empowered to seek help in their medical, emotions, and mental health needs without hesitation. Let us work together to ensure that men and boys of Carson live long, healthy, and fulfilling lives. Dated today, 3rd day of June, 2025, signed by the entire City Council. In addition to that, he's also joined with me, along with other individuals, that on the 20th of September, save the date, we will be hosting our 6th annual Prostate Cancer Awareness Charity Walk, which will be held at Compton College. Dr. Homie?
Yes, sir.
Any words you want to say?
Absolutely, if you don't mind. I always do. Yes, ma'am, thank you. Nice seeing you again as well. Thank you for having me again, and I'm very, very happy to be able to provide awareness to, our men and young men in the community regarding their own health. And actually, I want to make sure that Ms. Gabby Flores here, who is actually our Director of Behavioral Health for our clinic at Universal Community Health Center, who also very, very much knows the importance of especially mental health in men and young men, given a lot of unfortunate adversities that are faced, as well as sometimes the bias or the negative bias regarding seeking mental health help. And so she's very, very good at her job and never not busy. Currently, we are doing a lot of prostate cancer screenings as well. In addition to the prostate cancer awareness walk, we're going out to churches. As Dr. Homie, I'll be speaking to them, and we've collaborated with my clinic that I work at, Universal Community Health Center. We're going down to a church down in Inglewood to speak to the congregation there and perform prostate cancer blood tests on site with the clinic. We'll be doing the same thing at a church in Koreatown, and we've even started promoting services and starting services at Cal State Dominguez Hills, where we'll be able to start providing services for families, their children, as well as dental services. So really trying to go out into the community and make sure that affordable, accessible care is available wherever they need it.
Thank you. Awesome. Photo op. Thank you so much.
See you soon.
Next, we're going to have June 14th is Juneteenth. We're going to have the Carson Citizens Cultural Arts Foundation come forward, all you wonderful ladies. They got a red, oh yeah, yeah. Want to thank you for all that you do. You have a proclamation? Okay, do you have one to read? And I'm going to ask Councilman Hilton to read this.
Let me read this. Oh, sure. It's a proclamation recognizing June 19th, 2025 in honor of Juneteenth, a celebration of remembrance and freedom. Whereas Juneteenth, the oldest known national celebration commemorating the end of slavery in the United States, marks its 160th year anniversary this year. This significant day memorializes June 19th, 1865, when Union General Gordon Granger arrived in Galveston, Texas, and read the federal orders proclaiming that all previously enslaved people in Texas were free. And whereas despite the formal passing of the Emancipation Proclamation on January 1st, 1863, the promise of freedom remained deferred for many, particularly in Texas. As the most remote of the slave states and with a low presence of Union troops, the enforcements of the proclamation had been tragically slow and inconsistent, prolonging the bondage of countless individuals for nearly 2.5 years. And whereas the celebration of Juneteenth originated in 1866 with church-centered community gatherings in Texas, it gradually spread across the South, gaining increased observance in 1920 and 1930. Juneteenth experienced a resurgence in recognition in the 1970s with a renewed focus on African-American freedom and arts. And by the 21st century, it was celebrated in most major cities across the United States. And whereas Juneteenth has historically been honored through a rich tapestry of traditions, including church gatherings, the singing of spirituals, vibrant entertainment, family gatherings, powerful spoken words, performances, celebratory pageants, spirited parades, and soulful blues festivals. Today, Juneteenth continues to be a highly revered celebration throughout the United States, marked by a range of centered on education, self-improvement, and profound appreciation for the journey to liberty. And, man, that's a long one. Whereas the future of Juneteenth shines brightly as the number of cities and states establishing committees to honor this day continues to increase. Respect and appreciation for all of our differences grow out of exposure, and working together and becoming involved and supporting Juneteenth celebration creates new bonds of friendships and understanding among us that bring our collective future. Indeed, this is the true spirit of Juneteenth. And whereas as of June 17, 2021, President Joe Biden declared Juneteenth a federal legal holiday. It stands at the 11th American federal holiday and the first to gain legal observance since 1983, when Martin Luther King Jr. Day was designated. Many states also recognize it as a state legal holiday, and most states honor it as a day of observance. And whereas on Saturday, June 14th, 2025 at 11 a.m., the city of Carson proudly joins the nation in commemorating Juneteenth with a vibrant celebration at Anderson Park featuring live music, performances, fun zone, community booths, and educational displays for all to enjoy. And whereas ultimately Juneteenth is a profound celebration of freedom, a fundamental privilege that was hard-won and must never be taken for granted, especially now. That's not in my notes, but I wanted to tell you that. The city of Carson is deeply committed to remembering our history and to never forgetting those who paved the way for us to enjoy the liberties and opportunities we cherish today. This day serves as a powerful reminder of resilience, perseverance, and the ongoing pursuit of justice for all. Now, therefore, the mayor, the city council of Carson, California, do hereby recognize June 19, 2025 as the 160th anniversary of Juneteenth, and urge all residents, government officials, educators, other institutions to recognize this significant day in American history and to mark this month with special ceremonies, activities, and programs in remembrance of Juneteenth.
Woo, yes. Yeah, I want to say that the city of Carson is the first city that started recognizing Juneteenth some time ago. I think I was a park director when we started at Stevenson Park. And then we cut the budget, and the Carson Citizens Cultural Arts Foundation and other volunteers took it upon themselves to generate funds and revenue to make sure that this event was celebrated. And I want to give the chairperson for the Carson Citizens Cultural Arts Foundation none other than to have a few words and to thank her and this organization for not only supporting the Juneteenth, the Jazz Festival, the Women's Conference, the Black History Program, Martin Luther King Jr. celebration. They're very active, and I just like to let you know how much we appreciate all that you continue to do. This group, and there's some men too, they come out and volunteer their time and talent without getting paid a dime. And believe me, sometimes, most of the times, they work harder than other people because they're there in the morning at 6 o'clock before 5 o'clock in the morning, and then they're there until 7 o'clock in the evening, make sure everything is dressed. So this is what we call volunteerism at its best, and we have groups that do this, not only this group, but you'll be hearing from the Filipino Independence Day Foundation. We have coaches and everything else, but we cannot pay our volunteers enough money to help us to run these programs that the city is putting on. So, Miss Diane Thomas, give her a mic.
Thank you very much. First of all, I want to thank the mayor, the city council, and the city for recognizing this organization. You only see a few people up here right now, but there's some 40 volunteers that makes this happen every year, along with the other events that we support. And we are just proud to be able to partner with the city with these events. Now, if you have not heard of the upcoming event, it will be held on the 14th of June, which is 2 weeks from this past Saturday. Advertisement is already happening on KJLH, on billboards. Flyers are out. If you go to your local businesses, they have flyers. So the word is out, posters and everything. We work hard to get all of that done. But more importantly, we're really saying, whether it's Juneteenth, whatever the holiday is that we celebrate to recognize our ethnicity, we need to all be about recognizing ours and everyone else's. We're living in a time when that is not happening at a higher level, and they're trying to dictate what we will celebrate and what we will not celebrate. And we simply will not hear of it. You can't stop us from celebrating who we are. And the only way they can stop us from celebrating who we are is for us not to show up. So I will be looking for each and every one of you. As she said, we'll be there. Well, somebody will be there at 5 o'clock in the morning, but I'll be there by 6. And we're looking forward to having a great time. And the one thing I want to make sure you understand, because of the city and all the work that we do, this is free. Free. So we'll see you there. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Photo op. You guys look lovely in your red. Can't see who.
Stand right in front of Dr. Hilton too. He's pretty tall, so just scoot up a little. Oh, actually, there it is. Okay.
Thank you. I'm going to ask everyone to stay for a few minutes, even though you get your certificates, because we're going to have a presentation from AT&T, and it may be something you want to hear. You don't have to call me and ask me what it was, okay? Just hang in here for a little bit for me. I have a principal.
Principal, you're so good.
Principal, yeah, I'm gonna do that. Principal Hudley, come on down. Principal Rudy Mendoza is going to be next. But my God, she is retiring.
Oh, she didn't need to go now.
Retiring.
I know.
Oh my goodness, you mean I can't run over there to that school? Job well done.
Thank you.
We raised my son's kids together, and now you're retiring, leaving us?
Yes.
Oh Lord, oh Lord. Camilla Diggs Hudley, Legacy of Educational Excellence. Began her distinguished 38-year career in education with the Dallas Independent School District in the fall of 1986. Her journey soon led to Los Angeles, California in 1988, where she served in Compton USD Unified School District and Long Beach Unified School District before joining the Los Angeles Unified School District in 1990, where she is ending her 35-year career with LAUSD as an elementary school administrator. Her tenure at LAUSD began at Hawaiian Avenue Elementary School as a first and fourth grade teacher. There she also served as AQMD coordinator and UTLA chapter chair. In 1993, she joined the 10-school program at 102nd Street, teaching kindergarten through second grade. In 1988, Ms. Hudley brought her talents to Leapwood Avenue Elementary School as a categorical program advisor for the Title I and bilingual programs. Over time, she also served as a second grade IAS teacher, SRLDA teacher, and assistant principal. What is the IAS?
Elementary Instructional Specialist.
Elementary Instructional Specialist. Ms. Hudley has proudly served Carson, California community as an educator, as a community member. She is also a proud Silver Star member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. Well, I'm a Delta. President and an active missionary at New Philadelphia AME Church. You are going to be truly, truly missed. You know, it's always good to know who your principals are, and I can go over and call on her at any time. And whoever is taking your place, please let them know I'll be calling also. But you did a wonderful job. Your students that you've had, and I can be a testimony to that. One is at Howard becoming a dentist. One is a civil engineer. One is in school, and I know your son, Bruce, is doing well, and your husband is here tonight. Brittany's here with you.
No, she's not here. But
She's
she
not.
lives in Houston.
Oh, she lives in. She married? Oh,
Yeah,
Jesus. 3 years, my. Send these babies away, they don't come back home. But it's a testimony to what she has done for Leapwood and the city of Carson, because our kids, not only the ones that I mentioned earlier, have done marvelous things. They've gone on to a bigger, better, and brighter future, and it started right there at Leapwood Elementary School. So I am so honored and so, whew. But you know, I know her, so I know how to get in touch with her. So let me read this. Let me read your certificate.
Okay, sure.
Camilla Hudley, in celebration of an exemplary service to Leapwood Avenue Elementary School as principal. Thank you for your dedication, hard work, and commitment to the student, staff, and the Carson community. As you embark on retirement, may you find happiness, health, and on all your future endeavors. As stated today, it's signed by your mayor, your Delta sister, Lula Davis Holmes, Mayor Pro Tem Hicks, Councilmember Hilton, Councilmember Deere, and Councilwoman Rojas. Thank you for a job well done. We appreciate you. You will be missed.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. I would just like to say thank you to my wonderful mayor. She knows how much I love her. Thank you to all of the council members. I really appreciate Mayor Pro Tem. Thank you so much. Thank you, Los Angeles Unified School District, my boss over there, Rudy. He knows that I love him. Thank you so much. Thank you to my Leapwood staff that's here. Thank you to my sorority sisters. Thank you to my Delta sisters, okay? And most of all, thank you to my wonderful husband of 38 years for always supporting me. And he knows I really appreciate you bringing me to California so that I could, work with Los Angeles. That's the best thing, besides marrying you, okay? Thank you.
We're gonna take a picture with her, and then husband, I'm gonna invite you up, family, to take a group shot, but we're gonna take one with her right now. Come on up, husband and family. Come on up. Come on, don't be bashful. Come on, teachers. Her sorrows. Come on up here, one fill in and take this. We want one big group, one big photo. How are you? Let's fill in over here. All right. Okay? Now, come on over here, girl. This is a shot. Well, I don't want any of you guys to leave because, like I said, AT&T is going to be doing the presentation. So hang in here with me, okay? Okay, wait a minute.
You need more?
Yes. Why am I having my people stand behind?
Are you okay? Yes.
Yes, come on. Come on up here.
Oh.
No, you're good. Oh, you guys, can I see all you? Come on right here. I need one in front. Short. I need one short one. Thank you. Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you. Gonna miss you. Thank you.
Good to see you.
You too. The next is going to be a certificate of recognition to Rudy Mendoza. He's leaving us also. Oh my God. I know, just reached. They didn't. I don't have a write-up for Mr. Mendoza. You're leaving us already? You just joined us.
So tonight we're recognizing Rudy Mendoza. Most people knew him as the principal from Banny, but he was promoted to regional superintendent, I believe. Just an incredible guy. Let's give him some love. The proclamation essentially says the same thing. We will be here tomorrow if we read all of his accolades.
Thank you. I want you to have people give us a little history here. History lesson.
Good evening. I want to thank Mayor Lulu Holmes for your generosity for this proclamation. I want to thank the council members as well. I have been in education for 36 years, and I have been with the Los Angeles Unified School District for 32 of those years. I started at a Christian school, which was an amazing part of my life, both personally and professionally. But being with LAUSD has been a blessing. I am a director for the Carson Network of Schools. I'm not the superintendent. I wish I had that going out into my retirement, but I haven't. But you never know what the future holds, right? But I just want to say thank you to the council. I want to thank you for the amazing journey that I've had this last 2 years and being able to serve the city of Carson as the director for the network of schools and meeting the wonderful principals that I've been able to work alongside with and learn every single day with them. They have made me a better person, a smarter person. And together, I hope that we have made you all proud in serving the children and the families of the Carson Network. Yes, I am a Banning alumni, the school down the street. I grew up in Wilmington. I am a local boy. And so, yes, I understand the community, both communities. But like I tell people, I'm not going to disappear. I know that God has something more for me to do. I still have a lot of energy. I can't say still young, but I do have a lot of energy. And I'm looking forward to it. The only difference I see is that I'm going to be able to drink my coffee while it's still hot. So thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to ask everyone to move back towards this podium because it looks like we're trying to join the audience.
Amelia. It was all her idea that we retire at the same time. The mastermind. The mastermind. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
I miss you. The next, we're going to have a proclamation recognizing Filipino Independence Day anniversary. Councilwoman Rojas.
Thank you. Woo, here we go. Thank you so much. Magandang gabi sa inyong lahat. Maraming salamat and congratulations. The 127th anniversary of the Philippine Independence Day celebration, which will be held, the celebration will be held this Saturday, June 7th at Veterans Park, 8 a.m. Please come out. So this year, I'm doing something a little bit different because every year we honor the people that we see up on stage that we're all excited about. But you know, there's a group of workers behind the scenes. And our recipient this year is someone that deserves this recognition because they're the ones who put it all together, who make sure that everyone on stage is ready and prepared. And as the MC, I remember being up there and this group made sure that I sounded great, looked great, and really helped the celebration and the event just become so successful. So I'd like to call out RJ Jimenez and Mike Moreno and Nomer Garcia. These are our audio and sound technicians. They do the lights, they do the smoke, they do the stage, they get us all the microphones, and they make sure that all our performers sound great. So thank you so much. Now I'm going to read this Philippine Independence Day proclamation. Each of them get one. Come over here. Come. Yeah, right in between here with the mayor. And again, thank you. I know we want to congratulate you and thank you in public, because I know you're always behind the scenes, hiding in the back somewhere. But because of you, our events are just outstanding. One of the largest attendance in all the years, and you've been there the entire time. So the Philippine Independence Day 127th anniversary, whereas the city of Carson, California stands as a testament to the strength and beauty of diversity, a community enriched by the confluence of cultures that form its unique identity. Whereas amongst the most esteemed and vital threads in Carson's cultural mosaic is the Filipino community, whose profound and invaluable contributions have immeasurably enriched the social, economic, and cultural civil life of our beloved city. June 12th marks the 120th anniversary of the Philippine Independence Day, a monumentous occasion that commemorates the declaration of Philippine Independence Day from Spanish colonial rule in 1898. Whereas it is important to recall that June 12th was originally celebrated as Flag Day in the Philippines, recognizing the first unfurling of the Philippine national flag during the Declaration of Independence. It was later, through Presidential Proclamation number 28 in 1962, by President Diosdado Macabacal, that June 12th was officially declared Philippine Independence Day. Whereas this anniversary serves as a powerful and enduring reminder of the indomitable spirit of freedom, remarkable resilience in the face of adversity, and their steadfast pursuit of national unity. Whereas the city of Carson is profoundly honored to join the celebration of this monumentous occasion, recognizing the deep cultural pride, the profound historical significance, and the enduring legacy it holds for our cherished Filipino residents. Whereas this day transcends a mere celebration for the Filipino community within the city of Carson. It is an invitation for all residents, regardless of their ethnic background, to participate on this joyous affirmation of freedom, unity, and shared values that bind us as a community. Therefore, the mayor and the city council of City of Carson, California, do hereby solemnly recognize the 120th Philippine Independence Day celebration on June 12th. All residents are encouraged to join the City of Carson at Veterans Park, 8 a.m. Enjoy the day. This is a day for everyone to participate in the joyous celebration of freedom, and we want to thank our sound and audio visual tech for making this event successful. So thank you. It's dated this third day of June 2025, and we will see you there this Saturday. Thank you so much. Congratulations. Okay. Okay. Maraming salamat.
Yeah. Thank you all very much for the opportunities.
Yes.
And for this recognition.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're ready. We're ready.
All right, cool.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, thank you, thank you for all that you do. Next, we're going to have a proclamation recognizes June as Fire Prevention Month. Public Safety, Captain Williams, thank you. Come on down. June is Fire Prevention Month, so where's Chief Kane? Come on down, Chief. Who else is? Who else is here?
Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you. Good job. Thank you.
Where's my speech?
Oh, that's it. This is it.
The councilwoman and I have been going to the elementary schools with our sheriff and our fire department just to say, educate our young people on the importance of not using fire matches and all that, and preventing fires from starting. We gave them a little questions that they answered, gave them gift bags. I think at each school we had over 300 kids to come out, and they were very, very excited. The captain was there with his team and the truck, and the sheriff was there with the motorcycles, and it was just a good day for the kids to learn about fire prevention, and this is June is Fire Prevention Month. And I want to thank our captain, Assistant Fire Chief Kane, and also our Public Safety Commissioner for coming out and supporting everything that we do. We're reimagining how the 4th of July should look in the city of Carson. You've seen a lot of flyers going about saying that illegal fireworks, there's a fine. There's also a reward for those that report safe and sane fireworks, because safe and sane fireworks are also illegal in the city of Carson this year. So we're educating our young people, telling them to reimagine how they can celebrate with their family. Dignity Health Sports Complex will be having a fireworks show. We will be using our buses to transport people to Dignity so they can have a fireworks in a controlled environment. And I know not everyone agrees with the decision that was made, but this is a decision that was made because we want to make sure Carson is safe. Is the bottom line. We, even though the Altadena fires and the Pacific Palisades were not started with fireworks, but a complete city was leveled. And we're going home to our homes, and they don't have a home anymore. Who would have thought that this would happen in California? And I just want to thank you for all that you've done to come out and educate the young people on how, what they do. If you see a door, if it's on fire, you don't touch it with your palm, you touch it with the back of your hand. They were learning where they should meet on the school grounds and what safety prevention measures they should take at home. It was quite an educational. That's just a few of the questions that the councilwoman and I and the team posed to the young people, and they were very receptive. So, Fire Prevention Month. Assistant Chief Brian Kane of the LA County Fire, and recipient number 2 is Captain Michael K. Wilson of the Los Angeles County Fire Department, retired, 33 years in all, 20 years as a 20 years as a captain. Currently a public safety commissioner for our beautiful city. He moved to Carson as a child and has been a 50-plus year resident here in the city of Carson. He used to run around Del Amo Park when I was a baby. So I want to commend you for coming back and serving your city and being a part of the Public Safety Commission and supporting everything, and I can't say enough about you. So thank you very much. And this proclamation reads, they got it? Oh. Whereas the city of Carson remains steadfast in its commitment to the safety and well-being of all residents and families, and whereas fire prevention is essential to protecting lives, homes, businesses, and public spaces from devastating effects of fire-related incidents, and whereas summer brings an increase in outdoor activities, including grilling, celebrations, and the use of electrical equipment, which can heighten fire risk, and whereas education, awareness, and proactive prevention are critical components in reducing fire-related injuries and property damage, and whereas the Carson Sheriff and Fire Department will continue to lead efforts to educate the public on fire prevention, emergency preparedness, and responsible fire safety practices throughout the month of June and during the entire year. And whereas the City Council remains committed to enforcing ordinance number 25027, prohibiting the use of all fireworks in the city limits, including safe and sane, as part of its ongoing mission to protect neighborhoods and vulnerable populations from fire-related hazards. Now, therefore, the mayor and the city of Carson, California, do hereby recognize June 2025 as Fire Prevention Month, encourage all residents to participate in educational activities, implement fire safety measures, and remain vigilant in ensuring the safety of our community. Is signed today, June 3rd, is signed by all of us and attested to by our city clerk, Dr. Bradshaw. So thank you. Would you like to have a few words?
Yeah, I'll say a few. Last time I came here, I was cut off. I didn't know there was a 2-minute limit. Yeah. But I'd like to say I'm truly blessed and honored to be honored by my city. And in honor of Fire Prevention Month, I'd like to repeat a phrase that one of my colleagues, Roland Spruill, coined. He's fire guy in the sky now. He flies in helicopters and commentates on the fires and the fire weather. And he was our public information officer. And he would go around and speak on smoke detectors. And we want you to check your batteries regularly and change them when you change your clocks. That's the easy way to remember it. And so he would say in his James Earl Jones voice, smoke detectors, a sound you can live with. I'll leave you with that.
Yes, thank you, Mike, for that. Madam Mayor, members of the council, thank you very much for this recognition. Education and prevention is the first line of defense in how we can fight these fires. It was our pleasure to go out to the schools this week and educate our young people on how to do just that. And a special thank you to Captain Mike Wilson, as he and I worked together for quite a few years, and Captain Mike Wilson was a mentor to myself. So thank you, Captain Mike Wilson, for continuing this work in your retirement, and thank you to the city as well.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you. And before we get to AT&T, we're getting there, we're getting there. We have a certificate recognizing Carson Connected Community Award from Gary, from Gary. To Gary, from Gary. To Gary.
Tyler Technology to the city.
To the city. Oh, from Tyler Technology. Come on. Oh, awesome, Gary. Get in the middle right here. Oh, let you have a few words to say.
Oh, well, I do.
Hold that.
Tyler is absolutely honored to be a business partner of the city and working with you to be a connected community for your citizens, employees, and visitors. These computer projects take a lot of work, dedication, and effort, and the IT department has certainly stepped up during this process, as well as a lot of other folks in a lot of departments. And we appreciate all the efforts and look forward to continuing our partnership with the city.
Thank you. And your name was?
I'm Karen Grossett with Tyler.
With Tyler. And this is our staff person. How wonderful. She's awesome.
Bing is wonderful.
Bing is awesome. Cedric Hicks is going to read the proclamation.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Proclamation honoring the recipient of the Carson Connected Community Award. Whereas the city of Carson, California is a vibrant and thriving community built upon the dedication, preservation, and contribution of its citizens. Whereas the recipient of the Carson's Connected Community Award has demonstrated an unwavering commitment to enhancing the well-being of our city through their service, leadership, and devotion to fostering unity among residents. And whereas this exemplary individual has served as a role model, inspiring those around them to take an active role in shaping the more connected, inclusive, and prosperous community. And whereas through their honest and hardworking spirit, they have gone beyond the call of duty, embodying the principles of civic responsibility and making an indelible mark on the lives of their fellow residents. And whereas their dedication of improving the city of Carson has set a standard of excellence that encourages others to follow in their footsteps, ensuring that Carson remains a place of opportunity, growth, and unity. Now, therefore, the mayor and the city council and the residents of the city of Carson proudly recognizes and honors the recipient of the Carson's Connect Community Award for their outstanding contribution, unwavering service, and heartfelt dedication to bettering our community and encouraging the recipient to continue their noble work, inspiring generations to come to be more than just residents, but engaged and compassionate citizens who uplift and strengthen our beloved city. Dated today, the 3rd day of June, 2025, tested by our clerk, Dr. Kalia Bradshaw, and signed by the entire city council.
Thank you. Could I have all the IT staff, all the IT, come on down. Yes, while they're coming down.
Real quick, I definitely want to highlight our data and digital intelligence division staff, Bing Jing, Doc, Sushat Deswanthi. I'll let you talk in a bit. But for those that weren't aware, the Tyler Excellence Award that Karen's presenting here, of 12,000 clients, 120 get nominated. 120 agencies get nominated. So it's a top 1%. Of those, 28 agencies received Tyler Excellence Awards. So it's the top of the top. These organizations represent best practices in IT adoption of ERP standards and really set the benchmark for other agencies. So we're very proud and privileged to be among those 28 agencies. And I want to thank our staff, but also I want to equally thank our client departments. It's an ERP system, so all of our departments internally are party to these ERP installations that benefit residents as a whole and foster internal collaboration. So just want to thank our internal client departments, the directors setting their standards, adopting new processes and workflows for accountability and streamlining services. So we do this together. Thank you.
Thank you. Photo. Who are you missing? Thank you, thank you.
Get one hold it.
Yeah.
Just put it.
You're in the middle.
Now, what you've been waiting for. Thank you for waiting, by the way, because we're going to do a brief presentation on an update from AT&T Incorporated. Come on down. You've been waiting patiently. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. What's your name again? Say it loud.
Well, I'm doing it here.
I know you're gonna. Oh, but I'm.
Mackenzie Neely Wright with AT&T.
Mackenzie Gilly Wright with AT&T. No, I'm gonna take this. Who are my girl? Maisha. She stepped out. Did she step out or did she step away?
You can just do it after her presentation, so you can see.
Okay.
Of that award.
Okay. Did she step out or step away?
I want to know what happened to those shorter meetings. What happened to that plan?
I was downstairs. You know, you just talk too long.
If I can get IT to help the presenter to place their item on the screens.
Like I can see it on the screen, but there we go. Now, do I control it too? Yeah. I was saying, I can control it now from here? Or do I have to tell somebody next slide?
Yeah, you should be able to control it.
Okay, all right, perfect. So good evening, Madam Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, City Council, City staff, and the City of Carson. My name is Mackenzie Neely Wright, and I appreciate your time to provide you with an update of the latest updates of AT&T. So I will briefly touch on these 4 topics that you see for my presentation, starting with AT&T's capital expenditures update that was announced May 22nd. So, and I didn't realize this was going to be quite this small here, but what's the latest and greatest is in the state of California, AT&T has invested over $14 billion in our network infrastructure from 2020 to 2024. And this is important because specifically within our county and the greater LA County, we've invested the most within the state at $4.8 billion, that's billion with a B, to connect people and maintain our connectivity from it, a Wi-Fi, wireless or our fiber. And what's also important is that we're also doing this throughout the country. And so this commitment is evidenced by AT&T's recent announcement to acquire Lumen's mass market fiber business. These allows us to operate in states that we did not already operate in, and this is going to be finalized by mid-2026. So this includes the states that are in black. So we have Colorado, Iowa, Nebraska, states like that, that give us more coverage within the Pacific Northwest and in the Midwest. And then in states where we already had coverage, we're adding more cities into that, like Arizona, Nevada, Florida, and Minnesota. So that's a big update for us that was announced actually just 2 weeks ago on May 21st. And just to give you another look, this brings AT&T Fiber to more than 32 states throughout the United States. And we still have coverage in other areas like in the Pacific East, in the eastern states like Maine, but it's a different type of AT&T Fiber. I believe that's more of a partnership that we have there. So I want to narrow it back down to our coverage within Carson. So we have AT&T Fiber in the areas that you see there, and I want to highlight University Drive. We've done about 22 upgrades for our new cell sites to improve our coverage, but we're also readily getting prepared for the World Cup and the Olympics that are coming to the city. So that's really important for us, and we currently have a permit that we are working on University Drive that we're trying to get pushed along. And I think the city attorney might know about this. We're waiting to get a response from the city. We've sent out notices to residents. We've taken the feedback, and based on what we're trying to do, we've kind of given our direction to the city as far as how we want to move forward. So hopefully we can get a response soon and we can move forward on that as we provide more coverage in the University Drive area. And then finally, there's AT&T's legislative and carrier of last resort updates. And so AT&T is working hard to reform outdated regulation that hinders it from modernizing its infrastructure and providing the best quality service to our customers. So last year when I presented to the council, I mentioned that AT&T had applied for relief from its carrier of last resort regulation. That application process was not successful, and we subsequently were unsuccessful in a legislative approach. However, this year we've decided to take a different approach, and we've gone in a different, well, we're going back to the legislator, but we've taken time to really listen to the customers and stakeholders in those public participation hearings and adjust the regulation, because one big thing that's important to note is that copper telephone service is used by roughly 5% of the population, and specifically less than 3% of Carson residential and business customers. So with that, we're really trying to make sure that we're providing the best coverage and the best service to meet the needs and the demands of the customers, not just in Carson, but throughout the entire state. So at the same time that AT&T is trying to reform carrier of last resort, the California Public Utilities Commission decided to revisit the regulation for all telecommunication carriers within California. And so there were notices that were sent to your homes that look just like this on the screen that told you about public participation hearings. And if you are an AT&T customer with a copper telephone service, it looks like it comes from us, but it's language that is written by CPUC that we have to provide to our customers. And so these were the dates starting in April all the way until May 13th. You still have an opportunity to provide a written comment, to provide your feedback if you would like to mention something or give your comment about carrier of last resort and maintaining your copper telephone service. But I want to give the caveat that for context, this was not an AT&T application. This was something that the CPUC did for all 18 telecommunication companies that service California, as you see here on this map. And the circle is just where LA County is, and you are only serviced in LA County by either AT&T or Frontier. AT&T has orange. I have nothing to do with the color. And blue is Frontier. So that is what makes up most of LA County. But there are 17 other carriers that support the state and that are all looking for relief or some type of reform, if you will, from carrier of last resort. And then finally, AT&T, as I mentioned, is sponsoring a bill, AB 470, that's authored by Assemblymember Tina McKenna, which was introduced in February of this year. As of late, the bill passed appropriations and is back in the Rules Committee. We expect the bill to be voted onto the floor this week by the June 6th deadline and then move to the Senate House. But given my timelines tonight, I won't go into the details of the bill, but I want to highlight that no one will be left behind, and that this bill specifically focuses on areas that there's no demand, no customers, and in well-served areas, which I would consider Carson a well-served area. Based on the definition of the bill, there is one, and technically there's two, wireline providers within the city of Carson that can provide voice service, which would be voice over IP, but in a wired format, as well as other carriers that provide voice services. And so that's one of the caveats of being a well-served area, but it's not just one alternative, it's having three or more alternatives in place. And then the bill also has robust consumer protections. One of them is including a challenge process. So if customers do not feel that they are in a well-served area, they can contest and challenge that, and a third party on behalf of AT&T, but not AT&T themselves, will do an assessment. And I also just want to highlight, as I did last year, this is not a quick process. Once it is approved in the state, it has to go on a federal level with the FCC to do their analysis. So that's something I just want to highlight as well. And then there's also robust public notices that go out that come from the state, the county, the city, to make sure that everyone knows that this is happening. And so this is my last slide. In addition to making sure that there's alternatives in place, there's an affordability piece to make sure that the alternatives or the transition is more affordable, is not more expensive, I should say, than what is already provided. Typically, traditional telephone service is on the higher end, and you'll notice that voice over IP is a cheaper alternative. And then there's a commitment that AT&T will invest in expanding its fiber footprint within California. With that, I thank you for your time and attention, and any questions for me?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Certainly appreciate you, Mackenzie, for coming. You talked about the investment throughout the state. Can you tell us in particular how much investment did they make in Carson to update our stuff?
Sure. I can't tell you as it pertains to like this year, but from, let's see, a couple of slides back, there it is. Within 2019 to 2023, we've invested over $80 million in the city of Carson.
Great. And then that's a great thing. I think so. And then for some of our residents in like Stevenson Village area, the Stevenson Park area, the only internet option they have is Spectrum. Would you guys improving your infrastructure, would that allow them to get services through like AT&T?
Are you saying from the carrier of last resort thing, or is it because that can be separate?
No, well, they're looking for, it's not a strong signal over there. So they're looking for something to improve the digital age over in the Stevenson Village area. So they're only offered the option of, so AT&T is not even an option when it comes to internet.
Got it.
So they're just trying to figure out if improving this infrastructure will offer them that internet.
Let me circle back, because essentially all we have to do is go to the fiber team to say that that's an area that has a demand. Because what we don't want to do is keep building in areas where no one's transitioning to AT&T fiber. So if we know that there's a demand, then we add that to the list and try to prioritize them to get them their service. So that's what I'm saying. It's independent of what the bill or any network modernization efforts. If we know that there's demand, we prioritize that area.
Okay, last question.
Sure.
I was in University Heights this weekend at their homeowner association meeting, and they talked about building on university. The thing that we've talked about. Can you tell us why it's so important that we are in position for the Olympics? Why it's so important that you guys put those additional, I don't know exactly what you call them,
Sites.
Sites, cell sites. Why is it so important that they go there? Because the residents needed a little bit more clarity on that. And I told them that I would ask you because you were going to be on the presentation stage tonight.
Happy to do it. So that area is adjacent to the Dignity Sports Health area. I don't know. It's not an arena. What do we call it? Park. And so what we expect just from what we know about traffic and patterns in kind of big event times is that there will be more traffic in that area, and that causes congestion on existing cell sites. And so in order to relieve that, to make sure that people's calls continue to maintain while they're traveling in and around that area and people who are in their homes, it requires more macro sites in that area. And so we've mapped out, they have to be spaced a certain distance on light poles. And I believe the other side of the street has power. So that prevented us from being able to put the cell sites on that side. So when we mapped it out, they have to be a certain distance from each other to have that, what we call contiguous coverage, and making sure that there's no gaps. And then of course, it's also a public safety thing, because if there's an emergency, people need to be able to call for service.
Thank you so much.
Happy to do it.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Nice to see you, Mackenzie.
Good to see you.
A couple of questions. One being, I looked at the meetings that you had notices. I guess it was done by CPUC.
Yes.
There were none in the South Bay area, so there was nobody in this area that even probably could have attended many of those meetings. So the input which could have come from us wasn't received because it wasn't in that place. So is there any way that that can be revisited or be brought back?
So where the CPUC does their public participation hearings is independent of AT&T, but they did have virtual public participation hearings too, that people could have provided comment from their home. And there's still the opportunity to provide comment virtually, like online, like just typing your comment on the CPUC website. So that still remains.
So that still remains, and what's the deadline for that to not happen?
You know, I'm not sure, but I checked today before I came to make sure that that was still available. Okay. I don't know if it's, because what I don't know is when they're going to make a decision on their own ruling. Because since it's not our application and it's they're revisiting their own regulation, our job is just to provide the notices, but it doesn't really allow us to know their schedule of when they're going to be looking into things.
Then my second question, in regards to your, I guess, I don't know if it's through your department or whoever sends out their workers to go door to door knocking in our neighborhoods. Mm-hmm. I've gotten calls from my residents, and they're very concerned because when you knock on a door, people don't want to open the door to anybody at this point in time. But they're coming to the door and they're not really identifying themselves who they are, and they don't look as if they're professional in what they're doing, because when they came to my door, I know I didn't look, I have a ring, so I've been talking through the ring. But all people don't have that. But it was, to me, a scare tactic in their approach by saying, well, we're putting in fiber optics in your community. Your phone line is going to be dead in the next couple of months. You will no longer be able to use your copper phone line services. So it sent a scare tactic to my seniors and to the residents by saying, you're going to make me do something, and not explaining the process. And it wasn't explained to them in layman's terms to understand the process. So there needs to be something done to address that with getting the word out to our residents here in the city.
Sure.
And then the other part that when you did the mass mailing, I don't know how the mass mailing was done. I don't know if they deal with our cities or not. We have the Carson report that goes out, and it gives out information about what happens in our community. It would be nice, I guess, through our community services director to figure out a way to get information out to our residents just to know what's happening in our city regarding AT&T.
Okay.
Trust and understanding that we want to try and work as best we can with AT&T, but a lot of times AT&T is not always responsive to what we are requesting or want to have. So I'm just hoping by you coming before us, giving us information, you can relay it back to the powers that be.
Sure. The last top you said a mass meeting?
Mailing.
Oh,
mailing.
the
The
mailing.
mailings.
Got it. Okay. And that's to announce that fiber's coming to the city?
Yes.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, that's a different department, but I'll take that back.
Thank you.
Councilman Deere?
Yeah, thank you. I have a few questions.
Sure.
First about the micro towers. So AT&T is no longer going to use the very, very tall, like 100 feet in the air, big towers that we see sometimes disguised as trees. You're going to use these small, little, I guess, you would call it a cell tower, but it's small. It's attached to a telephone pole or a light post or something like that. Is that what you're planning for the city of Carson?
It depends. So specifically for the University Drive project, I would say yes, that we're going to use the smaller streetlight poles within University Drive. We still very much use those taller cell towers, but regulations change because I've seen some that don't even look like a tree. It just looks like a tower. I was pretty shocked.
Yeah.
Usually we try to make it aesthetically pleasing to look at. We've gotten better with how we make it look like a tree and a
Yeah,
real.
the newer ones look better, yeah, but
Thank
they
you.
still
But it's not
look
just
like
it's not
a
us,
tree.
and yeah, that's more Crown Castle. But it depends on what we're trying to cover and the area that we're trying to support. And given for like the University Heights area, it's a nice area, so you don't want to put something in there that doesn't match the aesthetic of that community. So we wouldn't want to put a fake tree if it doesn't match. And the light poles are already there, so it's easy to just go ahead and attach something at the top of it that kind of already matches what's already there.
I see. So what about in the entire city of Carson? Do you have an estimate of how many of these small cell transmitters you're going to be installing in the city? You're talking about 100, 1,000, 10,000? What?
I appreciate the question, and my engineer asked me if I was going to be asked that. I was like, no, they're not going to ask me about.
No one's going to ask you that question.
So I'll have to.
I'd be here tonight.
I have to circle back on that one, but I know for sure it's probably at least 5 to 6 that will be happening around University Heights for the Dignity Health.
On that particular neighborhood.
Yes.
That's a relatively new development compared to other neighborhoods in the city of Carson, and a lot of things that are underground already. Not a lot of wires. It looks pretty nice.
That's right.
And so you're accommodating the neighborhoods based on what they already exist as far as aesthetics.
Okay, so the focus on that area has to do to its proximity to Dignity Sports Park
And the Olympics
and the
in 2028.
Yes. So, and it can't be underground to be a cell tower. It's got to get up, and it's got to be in a way that is out of the way of power and other utilities. So for other parts of Carson, it's kind of I don't know where we're building exactly because I should have listened to my engineer when he asked me that this afternoon when I was talking to him. But it depends on what we're trying to service and what we're trying to match in that specific area. So like hypothetically, there's a park in the South Bay. It would make sense to do a light pole because the light poles in the parks aren't that high. So now we're going to do a tree solution in that park. Sometimes we do clock towers. Sometimes we do roofs on top of like commercial buildings or city buildings that we lease from. It just really depends on what the need is in that specific area and how best to service it. And then some cities and counties have height restrictions, and that's how far we can go, which then will require more solutions to try to service that area. So all of those kind of restraints have to be taken into account.
Okay, well, other than University Heights, there's also the Delamo neighborhood immediately south of Dignity Health Sports Park, which is basically University Drive. And there's quite a number of homes there. And then if you go across Avalon Boulevard from Dignity Health, you have the Victoria Park neighborhood. And then there's also residential immediately north, directly across the street. So you have a lot of work ahead of you if you want to really accommodate the 2028 Olympics and the amount of traffic you're going to expect. I mean, talking about frequency traffic, air traffic.
Sure.
So is University Heights is the first area that you're working on, and then you're going to do all the other areas as well?
I need to look at the map for those areas. Are those areas in between the park and like the highway?
Yes.
Okay. So they may be on the list. They tapped me in for the University Heights one because they might very well already be doing it. I know about this one specifically because of the feedback from the community.
Okay, so this is a difficult question. I've been approached by some constituents. They have concerns about the transmission of these radio waves near their homes. Do you have any data or any research saying that they should be located a certain number of feet from a home? Or, I'm not trying to make it difficult for you tonight, but the people of Carson do want to know if there is any concern, because people do have the concern already, and we just want to know what AT&T can tell us.
Got it. So I couldn't answer that today because that's not in my wheelhouse to answer, but we've gotten that feedback before. And so I'll make sure to provide you with some research that you can provide to your residents.
If you could give it to the city manager, he'll make sure all of us have it, and we'll disseminate it among the residents of the city so that their concerns can be allayed or the concerns can be mitigated.
Got it.
All right. Thank you very much. And you had a very nice presentation. I remember you were here last year, and you had a better reception tonight than last year, if I recall.
So far, so good.
Yeah, well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Dr. Hilton.
Just one last question.
Yes.
Some people in University Heights are experiencing non-telephone service, which are being linked to their home alarm, and it's taken an extensive amount of time to put get those telephones back online. They're getting for people who get calls, they're saying it's going to take like 2-3 months, and for seniors to be without, they feel like without a landline for that long, they feel like it's a challenge. So just wanted to mention that. That was one of the things that they mentioned at the community meeting, that it's taken a long time for AT&T respond to their landlines, getting them back online when they go out, and they said that somebody stole the copper. So I get that, but it's taken a long time, and they feel like that they're getting the runaround. So I just wanted to put that on the record because they're watching.
I appreciate that. Copper theft is a serious issue throughout the state of California, specifically LA County. I can say we've probably had about 30,000 instances of copper theft. There have been situations where we put the copper back, and the people who stole it tell our techs that they'll be back tonight to take it again. So this is a very complicated and expensive issue that we're working through. Sometimes we can temporarily get people back online, but they're going into multiple manholes, stealing our copper. And this is part of the network transformation effort. So I'll follow up on that area to see what the timeline is, but it's not from a lack of trying. Our technicians are working overtime to get people connected, and it's rampant throughout the county.
Well, thank you, Mackenzie.
Thank you.
And we will see you soon. Thank you.
Thanks.
Yes. We have a presentation.
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. If we could have our Director of Information and Technology, Gary Carter, provide a brief video presentation, and then he's also going to present an update as to where we are, the city, with fiber. Thank you.
So along with our connected, here we go.
IT.
They stopped it
technical
because
difficulty.
they stopped it because they wanted you to say something. She went back there to stop it. So
But we like the upbeat music.
Let's let the video play. This is a highlight reel for this fiscal year, our completed ITS projects. We still have some in the queue and some others, but it aligns with our Connected Communities Award. And then I'll get to the status of the broadband project. Thank you.
So let's start again.
You can cut it.
No.
Madam Mayor, MPT, and Council, your ITS department has been very busy this fiscal year. We still have some projects in the queue that we're going to get done this fiscal year. There were some that we omitted for certain reasons, but we are steadfast in moving City of Carson forward. The ERP project was substantial, and I got a lot of applause from our peer agencies. There were only there was, I think, actually 3 other cities that joined us with a Tyler Excellence Award out of the whole 28. There was 4 actually in California: City of Carson, City of Pasadena, City of Palm Springs, and City of Antioch. So these Palm Springs and Pasadena are leaders in ERP. So we're with that group now. What's not included is our groundbreaking that we're scheduling with you council for our fiber project phase 1 kickoff. It's the phase 1 of a citywide fiber optic network. It will be underground, and we will cover equally, the districts and make sure that we passed every resident and business. And so instead of having 1 option or 2 options, they'll have 3 options. One, for sure that it's under the city's control, that the rates are very affordable for everyone, and that the service is standards that we can control and influence. Capacity all above gigabit, so there will be no service less than that unless we opt to do something that's even super affordable and just meets the needs of a substantial few. But we're scheduling that groundbreaking with your calendar, so we expect that to be on our highlight reel for this time next year.
Great. Mr. City Manager.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you for the presentation, Director Carter. So also in addition, and Gary didn't mention, but the first phase that Gary is making reference to is actually going to have a fiber line that runs down FIFA 26 as well as LA 28. We find that extremely important, as well as the 1,400 plus residential homes that are being developed here on Avalon, the corner of the 405 entrance. That line is also being delivered with the help of Director Carter with Lennar Homes. So that way those homes, as they're being sold, are also going to be developed into smart homes. So that actually raises the value of those houses as well as the rest of the residences here in the city of Carson. So important work that our team is doing, but just wanted to publicly thank Director Carter for his work, his team that they've done. There aren't very many cities that can say that they have their own fiber network. And so the fact that the city of Carson will be the first in LA County South Bay, we're proud to share that. And so that is because of the direction of the council. So thank you.
Thank you. You can stay another year. How long is it going to take?
Appreciate that. I need you to finish.
Oh, okay. So you got a 5-year contract. Move over, Dr. Arlington. Okay, thank you. I'm going to take the liberty to move up item number 34 because I do see some Nestor people here. I've asked you guys to stick around to hear the AT&T, but they're on the agenda under discussion is item number 34.
Thank you.
Consider creation of a preferential parking permit zone. Mr. City Manager, item number 34. For the area near Mills Park.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So item 34 is to consider creation of a preferential permit parking zone I for area near Mills Park and regulating parking within the zone. As we see, the recommended action is to waive further reading and then adopt this resolution 25-062, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Carson, California, establishing preferential permit parking zone I for area near Mills Park and regulating parking within the zone. Or second recommendation is to waive further reading and then adopt resolution 25-073, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Carson, California, denying establishment of preferential permit parking zone I for area near Mills Park and regulating parking within the zone. And we'll have our chief engineer, Gilbert Marquez, to be able to present a brief presentation or answer any questions that you as a council may have.
Thank you, City Manager. Good evening, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, City Council. On August 24, 2024, the City of Carson received a petition from the representative of the residential neighborhood near Mills Park, requesting the establishment of preferential parking zone. In accordance with the Carson Municipal Code, the city has the authority to create parking zone where on-street parking by non-residents contributes to neighborhood decline or impacts residents' quality of life. Per Carson Municipal Code requirements, the following criteria must be met to consider establishing a permit parking zone. At least 60% of affected residents must sign the petition. At least 75% of the on-street parking space must be occupied by vehicles indicating high parking demand. And then number 3 is the zone is self-contained area of parking demand and supply. The submitted petition met the minimum threshold for resident signatures. There's like 100 signatures out of 158 homes. Subsequently, a parking utilization survey was conducted on Tuesday, September 10, 2024, which found that an average of 41% of on-street space were occupied. No individual street surveyed met the 75% occupancy threshold required by the municipal code to justify the establishment of a permit zone based on technical criteria. Staff during the Public Works Commission meeting on April 14, 2025 recommended denial of the proposed preferential parking zone due to non-compliance with the city's technical standards. However, the commission recommended approval of the zone with modification to include Abbottson Street between Radlett Avenue and Tejada Avenue, and the continuation of Cyrene Avenue from Nestor to Tejada. Staff now is seeking direction from City Council on whether to proceed with the establishment of the preferential parking zone as recommended by the Public Works Commission, or to deny the request based on the findings of the parking survey and the city's established criteria. That concludes my report, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Councilman Hicks.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Mayor Pro Tem Hicks, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you, staff, for the report. This has been an ongoing concern of the residents near Mills Park. One thing that I did look at, that they made sure the residents who live around that area signed the petition, who voiced their concerns regarding the quality of life in their area. You have the park that's under renovation currently. Once it's been renovated, it's going to be a beautiful park. It's going to be highly used. And individuals kind of spill into the community, into the neighborhood, which affects the residents who live in that neighborhood. And I think by allowing them to have the permit parking will now give them the tool needed to make sure they can continue the quality of life, friends coming over, relatives, those kind of things that are happening. But I know the park is going to still can do what it's going to do, but you do have Central Avenue that's available. And if there's a bigger permit, which is done before, they allow them to park on Central Avenue. Mm-hmm. I think parking within the community, within the neighborhood, should not be a chore for a person who's paying their property tax and live in their communities for many, many years. And I just hope that my colleagues understand the process, and there is a permit process currently at Anderson Park, which is very for the same reasons, because of not allowing them to be able to use their own street parking in their own neighborhood. It doesn't make any sense for you to live on one street and have to park your car 5 or 6 blocks away when the person is maybe there doesn't live in the neighborhood. Mm-hmm. So I just hope that with that being said, that we can move forward with the final recommendation. I think the commission actually said, they said recommended with some modifications, and I think the residents are okay with the modifications. With that being said, Madam Mayor, I just want to go ahead and make a recommendation that we waive further reading and adopt resolution number 25062, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Carson, California, establishing preferential parking permit zone I for the area near Mills Park and regulatory parking within the same zone.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. Any discussion on the motion?
Yes.
Councilman Deere.
Thank you. Gilbert, thank you for that presentation. Could you clarify or enlighten us as to what is the primary concern about not having preferential parking, and how this addresses the issue of one household having multiple vehicles? In other words, can you tell us technically how this is going to work? Does one household get 2 passes plus a visitor pass, or how does that work on the technical level?
From what I understand, there is a registration fee of $60, a one-time registration fee, and there is like $20 for each vehicle for that household.
Is there a maximum?
Not sure about that. I have to check back to you about that one.
There is, because Anderson Park has a maximum. And when they have activities where they're having a family over, they need to come to City Hall and get temporary permits so they could have the residents for the one-day permits. So there is a limited number, because some of these people have, they have all these boomerang kids, and you may have a house that has 10 permits, and they take up all the parking space also. So unless that has changed since we did Anderson Park, there is a limited number. I think Stevenson Park, the same thing. They have special permit parking in that area also.
So do you know how many, what is that number? How many permits does that, like at Anderson Park, it's been existing for a while. How many permits?
It's not, I don't know. I don't remember because I'm not up there now.
Maybe Miss
Councilman, we can get that information to you. We'll go back and research it, but we're going to follow the same procedures that the city has already put in place.
Yeah.
Okay, because we, throughout the city of Carson, are having complaints about an individual house. Maybe there's multiple families living in one house. And I just got a complaint this weekend from a constituent, actually at my town hall meeting. And in this case, the neighbor has 10 vehicles in one house. He says there's 3 families living there, but 10 vehicles in one house, it's just so unfair. They take up all this parking space on the street, and then people who can't park not only in front of their house or across the street, they have to park blocks away. And that's why this permit, I want the technical aspect of the permit.
Sure,
Does a permit address that problem?
Well, we'll try to do some research, Mr. Council. We'll get back to you on that one. At this point, we are not. I'm not sure what's the maximum number of car per resident. To be honest.
And do they pay $20 per year per car or per permit?
From what I understand, yes.
I see. And the permits are transferable to another vehicle in their household? Like they have one in the garage, one in the driveway, and then they can park one in the street with a permit. And then they can switch it to a different car that they own. Is that allowable?
Councilman, allow us to do a little more research on it. We will follow the other permit parkings that are already currently established in the city of Carson.
Mhm.
And we will get that detailed information. We will circle back and get that detailed information to you.
I'd like to get that detailed information. I seconded the motion because in principle, in concept, I'm very much in favor of this.
Okay.
So I would like to get the information because we do want to make sure that the ordinances that we pass address the issues thoroughly. And we need to address these issues with one house having so many cars. I mean, some people might be in the business of repairing cars or who knows what reason they have so many cars, I don't know. But the point is, it's just unfair to the rest of the house, people living on the street. But okay, I appreciate you getting that information back to us
Yes, sir.
in a week or so.
Yes, as soon as possible. We'll start searching tomorrow. Yes.
Terrific.
Mr.
Thank
City
you, Madam
Manager.
Mayor.
Yeah,
I'm
thank
done.
you.
Yeah.
Mr. City Man, I'd like it to come back in the form of a report so we all know we don't have to not pass this ordinance.
Madam Mayor, Mr. City Manager's daughter is on America's Got Talent as we speak.
Goodbye, Mr. City Manager. We have an assistant city manager.
Yes, Assistant City Manager. Yeah, he's in. This is really good. I wish you guys could all see it. She's dancing her heart out on America's Got Talent. Woo!
So to the city attorney, we can pass the ordinance, we come back with.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, and we'll come back with the guidelines, but I do know there's a limit, and if there's not one, we want to place one.
Sure.
Okay.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
So it's been moved and proper second to pass the ordinance, to come back with some guidelines, so we're all on the same page. Yes. They do exist. It's been moved and properly second. Any more conversation? Hearing none, cast your vote.
It's unanimous, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now we'll go back to our agenda, all communications from matters listed on the agenda. Madam City Clerk, are there any?
We have one.
One.
It's Diane Thomas.
Diane Thomas.
Good evening. So thank you. And to the council, I'm coming to say thank you. I'm coming to say thank you to our mayor, Lula Davis Holmes, to Cedric Hicks, and to Councilwoman Rojas for passing the ban on fireworks. During the weekend for Memorial Day, it was wonderful. It was quiet. It was uneventful. No debris on the front yard, backyard, on the house, in the streets. It was just wonderful. And at the end of that weekend, you realize what peace we had. So I want to say thank you for passing that ban. And I want to also thank the wonderful people who decided to do fireworks anyway. Because when they decided to do that, I cannot tell you how many people have had the discussion of, wow, we now realize how it can be. It can be quiet. It can be civil. It can be held in one location. Everyone can go. And then when it's over, you return home, no muss, no fuss, and it's done. So these wonderful people who decided to have fireworks anyway just reminded us of that. Now, I understand that there may possibly be a petition going around to change what you have put in place. And I am here to urge all those residents who loved the quiet during Memorial Day weekend, don't sign any petition in the near future. You may not know what you're signing. You may be tricked into signing something, but I will tell you, the animals love you for what you did. My dog, Fiona, loves you for what you did. There was no anxiety. It was absolutely incredible. And I appreciate your insight. And everything does not need to be voted on by the residents when we have council people who are not afraid to stand up and say, this does not have to happen in Carson. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we'll have approval of the minutes.
Move approval, Madam Mayor.
Been moved and properly second. Cast your vote.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
Oh, sorry, go ahead. Just waiting for the consent calendar.
Oh, well, I haven't got there yet. Cast your votes for the minutes.
Not on the screen.
Oh,
It's not showing on the live meeting, so we'll do an oral vote.
thank you. Oh,
Who made the
aye.
motion?
Want us to vote?
who made the motion? Jim made the motion. Who
I
seconded?
made the motion.
Dr.
Second.
Hilton seconded.
All in favor, aye.
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 It's unanimous.
Thank you. Next is the consent calendar, item 17 through 29. Mr. City Manager, you wanted,
Yes, Madam Mayor, I was asking if we can continue item number 23.
okay.
Motion to approve consent.
Second.
It's been moved to approve the consent calendar with the exception of item number 23. Any discussion? Anyone like to pull an item? Hearing none, cast your vote with the exception of item number 23, which will be continued to a later date.
It's unanimous.
Thank you. Okay, where am I? 23. Item number 20, item number 30.
Yeah, 30.
Special orders of the day. Item number 30 is introduction and first reading of an ordinance amending the new Carson zoning code, Chapter 1 zoning, Article 9, planning and zoning of the Carson Municipal Code, as enacted by ordinance number 24-245, and make the various modifications to ensure compliance with the state housing element law, including government code section 65583C1 and 65583-2H-1, and consistency with the city's 2021-2029 housing element. City Council. Mr. City Manager.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Item number 30 is an introduction and first reading of an ordinance amending the new Carson zoning code, Chapter 1 zoning of Article 9, planning and zoning of the Carson Municipal Code as enacted by ordinance number 24-2405 to make various modifications to ensure compliance with the state housing element, including government code section 65583C1 and 65583.2HI, and consistency with the city's 2021 to 2029 housing element. Recommendation for this is, as we open the public hearing, is we're going to introduce the first reading for this particular action, as amending several sections as mentioned. Specifically, there are supplemental regulations of Division 1 residential districts and sections 92.12.3 development regulations and 92.12.4 supplemental regulations of Division 2 mixed use districts of Part 2 base overlay and special districts of the new Carson zoning code, Chapter 1 zoning. and Article 9, Planning and Zoning of the Carson Municipal Code to make various modifications to ensure compliance with the state housing element law, including Government Code Sections 65583C1 and 65583.2 HI, and consistency with the city's 2021-2029 housing element for your recommendation.
Madam City Clerk, was it the hearing properly posted?
The notice of public hearing has been given pursuant to applicable law. Proof of timely publication was received by the city clerk. Agenda posting requirements were met for individuals and organizations. The posting affidavits are on file in the city clerk's office, and no written communication was received.
We're going to open the public hearing. Is there any public comment on this item? Hearing none, we're going to close the public hearing. Staff deliberation.
Madam Mayor,
Yes, Councilman.
I'll make a motion if we're ready for it.
We're ready.
Okay. I move that we introduce for first reading by title only with full reading waived, ordinance number 25-2510, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Carson, California, amending sections 9211.3, development regulations, and 9211.4, supplemental regulations of Division 1 residential districts in section 9212.3, development regulations, and 9212.4, supplemental regulations of Division 2, mixed-use districts of Part 2, base overlay and special districts of the new Carson Zoning Code, Chapter 1, Zoning of Article 9, Planning and Zoning of the Carson Municipal Code to make various modifications to ensure compliance with the state housing element law, including Government Code Sections 65583C1 and 65583.2H-I, and consistency with the city's 2021-2029 housing element.
Been moved and properly second. Hear no further conversation, please cast your vote.
Madam Mayor, can you vote? It's unanimous.
Okay. Item number 31 is introduction of a first reading, Mr. City Manager, of an ordinance.
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. This item is to introduce the first reading of an ordinance amending sections 9202.1, Advisory Agency, 9202.10, Division of Land, 9203.16, Processing and Approval, Public Hearing, and 9203.19, Effective Date and Appeal of Chapter 2 Subdivision Regulations of Article 9, Planning and Zoning of the Carson Municipal Code to permit administrative approval of 1, a tentative tract maps for condominium purposes, and 2, tentative parcel maps for City Council's consideration. Currently, all tentative parcel maps, subdivision of land into 4 or less parcels, and tentative tract maps, subdivision of land into 5 or more parcels, are subject to Planning Commission's approval under the city's subdivision ordinance, Chapter 2 of Article 9 of the Carson Municipal Code. Under the State Subdivision Map Act and the city's subdivision ordinance, creation of lots for condominium purposes and condominium minimum development projects is considered a subdivision that is subject to the aforementioned map approval requirements, despite the fact that the condominium lots are not technically separate legal parcels. The Planning Commission's recommendation would amend the city's subdivision ordinance to provide the community development director or his or her designee instead of the Planning Commission as the designated advisory agency that is authorized to approve 1, the tentative tract maps for condominium purposes, and 2, tentative parcel maps, provided that the community development director or his designee shall obtain the concurrence of the city manager or his or her designee prior to approving any such tentative map. No changes are proposed with respect to other tentative maps or final maps. The proposed ordinance would help reduce the approval time for the said applications for your discussion and approval.
My discussion, is this the item that I wanted to amend? And how much are you taking from the Planning Commission? Nothing.
Nothing, no, ma'am.
Okay, because we want it to go to the Planning Commission and to the director and city manager, so we'll all know what's going on. So I would like to make a recommendation that we approve this item because it has been amended. Any discussion? Oh, wait a minute. I want to open the public hearing. Madam, before I make that motion, was the notice properly posted?
The notification process is not applicable. This is per the city attorney Ben Jones because it's a subdivision act.
Okay. So is there any discussion from my colleagues then?
The title has to be read? Does the title have to be read?
It's
Introduced by title and waive further reading. So
Okay.
read the title.
introduced by title only and waive further reading of ordinance number 25-2513, entitled an ordinance of the City Council of Carson, of the City of Carson, California, amending sections number 9202.1, Advisory Agency, 9202.10, Division of Land, 9203.16, Processing and Approval, Public Hearing, and 9203.19, Effective Date and Appeal of Chapter 2, Subdivision Regulations of Article 9, Planning and Zoning of the Carson Municipal Code to permit administrative approval of tentative tract maps for condominium purpose and tentative parcel maps.
Already seconded.
Oh, it's been moved and properly second. Just vote. Jeez, oh, pizza, you guys are too much.
It's unanimous, Madam Mayor.
That was 31. 32. What? Consider adopting resolution number 25069, Mr. City Manager.
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. This item is for your discussion and approval on recommendation, clarifying and restating the administrative citation fines applicable to violations of the city's fireworks ordinance in light of adoption of city ordinance number 25-2507 and replacing resolution number 24-050.
Thank you. Is this a public? This is special or no?
Discussion, Madam Mayor.
It's discussion.
Well, I'd like to make a recommendation that, what is this, number 34? 32, consider adopt resolution number 25-069, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Carson, California, clarifying and restating the administrative citation fines applicable to violations of the city firework ordinance in light of the adoption of city ordinance number 25-2507 and replacing resolution number 24-050.
Fifth, that's a second.
It's been moved and properly second. Any questions, conversations? Here, oh, everybody saying Okay. Cast your vote.
It's unanimous.
Item number 33.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So item 33 is to consider an introduction and first reading by title only of ordinance number 25-2509, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Carson, California, amending section 6383, revocation suspension grounds of part 4 permit procedure, and section 63134.1, same eligibility, and section 63134.3, same performance standards of part 5, businesses, professions, trades, and occupations requiring a permit of chapter 3, business, professions, and trades of the Carson Municipal Code to expressly include the city's right to revoke or suspend business license where criminal investigations yield evidence of violations of law, for your discussion and approval, Madam Mayor.
Okay, we had some discussion on this item before. There was a lot of concern. And before, so could you point out the changes that were addressed to meet?
Sure, Madam Mayor. And Council Director of Finance, William Jefferson, can provide you an update as to some of those concerns and changes, so that way you'll have that and it be transparent to the public.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem and Council. As it was stated, this item was needed more robust information into it to where we covered and ensured that we covered all the bases for when the license is possibly revoked. And I'll just read you off a few of the items that we have included into the ordinance. One is the permittee has violated any terms or provisions of said permit, any provisions of the Carson Municipal Code, or any other ordinance or statute relating to the permitted activity. The permittee has knowingly made false, misleading, or fraudulent statements of a material fact in the application for a permit, or any report or record required to be filled any government agency. The permittee has been convicted of a felony or any crime involving theft, embezzlement. The permittee has committed any act constituting dishonesty or fraud. The permittee has demonstrated a bad moral character, habits, or bad reputation for truth, honesty, and integrity. The permittee has committed any unlawful, false, fraudulent, deception, or dangerous act while conducting a business license. The permittee has published, uttered, or dismantled any false, deceptive, or misleading statements or advertisement in connection with the operation of a business license. The permittee has violated any rule or regulation adopted by any governmental agency related to the licensed business. The permittee willfully fails to comply with terms of any contract made as a part of the exercise of the licensed business. The permittee has conducted the business license in a manner contrary to the peace, health, safety, and general welfare of the public. The permittee has demonstrated that he is unfit to be trusted with the privileges granted by the permit and license. So these were the items that we added into the ordinance to ensure that we covered everything when it comes to that subject.
Councilman Deere.
Thank you for bringing that out in a clear explanation. If you all remember, there was a nightclub in Carson called Bistro 880, and he ran a nice nightclub, but I guess the gentleman didn't think he was making enough money, so he decided to start renting out his facility to promoters. His business license didn't allow him to do that. There was a terrible tragedy. A 17-year-old girl was murdered by a female gang member. The gang member is from Lancaster. The girl was from central Los Angeles. Mother didn't even know she was out that night. She'd snuck out of the house. Terrible tragedy. And we were able to revoke the business license. So don't we already have this authority to revoke the business license since we've done it before? And there's other nightclubs that have closed down right across the street from City Hall. The sheriffs were out there practically every single night breaking up a fight. And that business shut down as well. So how is this different than our existing authority?
The items that I presented were not in the ordinance at first. It was very, very vague. As you said, incidents of that nature could possibly go under the table. So the purpose was to make a more robust, put more robust applications in to where things of that nature that happens. So now the example that you just gave, that's covered now in these items that I mentioned. So it covers that. So we went from, let's just say, ground 1 to now we're on ground 10. We have a more robust ordinance that'll cover situations in that nature.
So the verbiage certainly is more encompassing of various violations. But the last council meeting that we discussed this item, the concern was that if a business is being investigated and then we take their license and they go out of business and they lose a lot of money, and then the investigation concludes that they had done nothing wrong. There had been a mistake made somewhere along the line, maybe a bureaucratic mistake, who knows, and they were not in violation and they were found innocent of any violations. And do we have any way of making up for that? The city takes their license away, puts them out of business, and then they lose a lot of money. And I asked this question at the last council meeting that we had this before us about how we can compensate a business where we acknowledge that we made a mistake.
It's a great question, but again, I go back to the ordinance and how robust it is now. So if we got into that situation, if we took their business license away or revoked it, it would be based upon these criteria, which was written by our COA's office. So I'll defer to them because they know the law, but I think this covers that.
Through the mayor and the city manager, the city attorney maybe can address that, because one of the stipulations, if I recall correctly, you just read to us something about, I think you said immoral behavior or something like that. And, that's pretty subjective. You might say, well, maybe,
It's immoral.
in the history of the United States, there have been things that are declared immoral behavior that today we would think are ridiculous. So how do we handle that? Maybe the city attorney could address it.
Well, to respond to your first question, the criminal investigation has to yield evidence of violation of the law. So it's not just because you're under criminal investigation. So that's why legally, if it yields evidence that there was a violation of the law, that's fine. I didn't work on this specific item myself. The immoral, I can talk to Robert Lee about the immoral behavior. If there's no definitions, I mean, if Mr. City Manager, do you want to pull it up so I can look and see if it's been defined?
Madam City Attorney, I think you can take it back, tweak it, because that was a question that we all had at the last council meeting. So we can tweak it. We have 2 weeks.
Sure.
Continue it until the next meeting, so you'll have an opportunity to give your undivided attention.
Yeah, so you would like to see, Madam Mayor and Council, moral police defined
Yes, because it's more.
and assigned.
And how do you? I think the other question was.
I don't see it in the ordinance.
Yeah,
though. I don't see it in the ordinance. The ordinance says where the permittee has violated any terms or provisions of said permit, where the permittee has knowingly made any false, misleading, or fraudulent statements of material fact in the application for the permit, where the permittee has been convicted of a felony or any crime involving theft, embezzlement, or moral turpitude, where the permittee has committed any act constituting dishonesty or fraud, where the permittee has demonstrated a bad moral character. Oh, that's the one.
There it
okay.
is.
Character or bad reputation for truth, honesty.
It's letter.
Yeah, that's definitely.
It's letter E.
It's
letter E.
Pretty vague.
I would just strike that. If you wanted to pass this tonight, you can strike that, because a lot of those things are covered under the other provisions that you had.
So,
but if you want to bring it back, we could bring it
Madam
back.
Mayor, I'd like a clarification from the city attorney. So you're saying if someone is being investigated, evidence can be circumstantial evidence, evidence can be someone's opinion, evidence can be a false accusation, that could be considered evidence. But I would think that
Found guilty.
once it's proven that they've lied under their business license or committed a felony, then of course we want to take their license away from them. We don't want them operating a business in Carson. But just being investigated, anybody can accuse you. I know because as a school teacher, I've had colleagues that have been accused of things, and then the investigation bears out there was no violation of any moral or legal rules of our society.
So the language is very clear that the investigation has to actually result in evidence.
Well, that makes sense, yeah.
And so that's what this says.
Okay.
And let's not forget, anyone that's going to get a notice that their license is going to be revoked, they have due process rights. So they can come to the city and present their case. And so this is not, like a willy-nilly process, and they would have their due process rights. They can present evidence. So I'm not concerned about that provision, but the other one about, I see why that can be confusing, and the city doesn't want to become the moral police.
And we don't want lawsuits against us on this ordinance, wasting our money.
Continue it and tweak it a little bit. And then also, I'm sure other cities have an ordinance similar to it has stood the test of time. We could take a peek at what they've been doing, make sure we're all in line with one another.
I'll talk to Robert about it.
Okay.
Very good. Thank you very much.
So we're going to continue this item till the next council meeting. Would that give you enough time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Can we define, is it moral turpitude or moral purpitude? That's, it's it's two different things.
Yeah, we were gonna have our bishop decide if there is a moral character.
Well, a moral turpitude is something that's wicked, immoral, and stuff like that. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. We don't want to become the moral police.
Thank you. Next item, we've completed 34, all communications for matters not listed on the agenda.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I have 10 speaking cards.
You have 2 minutes each.
Okay. I will begin calling names. Mr. Drexel Johnson Mohammed.
Left?
He left?
Yeah, he left already.
Then there were 9. Brandy Lewin.
She's here.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem Cedric Hicks, who is also my councilman, Councilman Dr. Juwan Hilton, Councilman Jim Deere, and Councilwoman Arlene Rojas. Councilman Deere, I attended your town hall, which was well attended, and I appreciate the opportunity that you allowed me to share what we're doing in partnership with the council and the community. Council, thank you for allowing me a few moments to provide an update on some important efforts currently underway. I'm pleased to share that we have been meeting consistently and working together as a committee to formalize the Disabilities Committee, which will function as an ad hoc committee under the Human Relations Commission. I'm especially grateful to City Manager David Roberts, who responded promptly and worked with us to establish a path forward. As part of this agreement with Brian, will be able to join us once a month, and that was for compliance guidelines. So because he's only able to meet once a month, the remaining meetings we will continue on a bi-weekly basis, and then we'll meet in the interim. I would like to mention that we have 3 interns that are working on this with us. We have 2 from Mount St. Mary's and 1 from Cal State Long Beach. I also want to take a moment to acknowledge Councilman Dr. Juwan Hilton. At a previous meeting, I raised concerns regarding the area of University in Avalon, and I appreciate him for stepping in and following up and following through. It appears we're making real progress there, and I'm hopeful about what's to come. I'm asking council's additional help for some tenants that are there. I had a chance to speak with the security manager, as well as see some things that are going on in the tenants. Their roofs are like falling in. So I'm hoping that we can get some discovery on that before we finalize facade grants. Lastly, I attended the Public Works Commission meeting to begin a conversation around how we might better support residents who are impacted by construction projects in their neighborhood. I'll keep you updated on that. Thank you again for your time and your continued leadership.
Next.
Excellent. Nancy Rusas. Good evening, Nancy.
Thank you. Hi, good evening, everyone. I'm here on behalf of AFSCME 809, representing and standing with our part-time members. We're here to speak about the status of our negotiations for a new MOU. The current contract expired July 1st, 2023, which is almost 2 years ago. Negotiations for a new contract began in November of 24. During that first meeting, the city's negotiating team told us the city wanted to take care of the full-time contract first, and then they would address the part-time. The union wanted to address the part-time contract since it had already expired, but the city usually only came to the table prepared to discuss full-time items. In January, we received a counterproposal from the city, which was the first document they presented to us, and it rejected almost every item that was in our proposal, whether it was monetary or language. About a month ago, we received a second document from the city. Oh, lost my place. We received from the city, which was a last, best, and final offer. Other than a small percentage of COLAs over a 3-year period, the city agreed to increase bilingual pay. There are only 3 part-time employees that receive it citywide. The city has said no to adding the 3 city-declared holidays as paid leave. When the community center and other city facilities close, all the part-time employees at those facilities lose a day of pay. They are saying no to increasing the amount the city pays towards the cost of a medical premium. The last increase we received was in 2017. Meanwhile, the cost of the medical premiums has gone up significantly. Currently, there are only 9 part-time employees that can afford to use this benefit. The city also does not want to give our part-time members access to the same dental and vision benefits that full-time employees enjoy, and which is only a nominal cost for the city. It's time for the city to show the part-time employees how much they truly appreciate all the work they do to make Carson the jewel of the South Bay.
Thank you.
Hunter Noah. Good evening. You'll have 2 minutes.
Hello, council members. My name is Hunter Noah, and I have the great privilege of working for one of the biggest departments for our city of Carson, our recreation department. I'm here to not only represent myself, but the 350 plus part-timers I have the pleasure of working alongside with. This year, you have given the city the title of being the jewel of the South Bay. Now with that, what makes us the jewel of the South Bay? Could it possibly be because of our 12 park facilities our part-timers help facilitate within the recreation department? What about our year-round youth sports or childcare we provide with over 4,800 participants? Yearly, that again, our part-timers are helping coordinate and operate on a daily basis. What about our special events that help highlight the cultures in our diverse community? Events like Filipino Independence Day, Samoan Heritage Festival, or Cinco de Mayo. All events our part-timers fully partake in to ensure our city is truly the jewel of the South Bay we claim to be. Last week, I worked a full 12-hour day for our annual team conference. This upcoming Friday and Saturday, I am working for back-to-back 14-hour shifts for Filipino Independence Day. Later on this month, I have planned my parks movie night in hopes for a safe place for those in my community to be in. And at the end of the month, I am working full days to help represent my people in the Samoan Heritage Festival. Do I continue to choose this job I love regardless of the pay and the lack of contract that helps to represent me? Let me be clear, we are not asking for luxury, we're asking for fairness. You have chosen to say no to many important benefits that would advocate for your part-timers. The number includes me and my sisters. We represent Veterans Park, Hemingway Park, Carriage Crest Park, Dominguez Park, Dolphin Park, with high hopes others will care for the city the way we do. Many part-timers are parents, caregivers, and residents of the city, and to reject these essential benefits is to send a message that their work does not matter. We are asking for council to do better. We're asking for you to come back to the table with respect and the willingness to negotiate in good faith. A city is only as strong as those who serve it.
Madam Mayor, that's 2 minutes.
Thank you.
Ashley Avila. Good evening, Ashley. You'll have 2 minutes.
Good evening. Okay, good evening. My name is Ashley Avila, and I am also a part-time employee. I have personally been with the city, along with some of my fellow colleagues here. Me personally, I'm coming up on 25 years as a dedicated employee. I have served in many of the departments of the city of Carson, and I'm privileged to work with many dedicated and hardworking people. In these programs, aquatics, recreation, kids club, day camp, enrichment that I have observed, I have seen the role that we play and partake as part-time employees, and without us, I don't think the city would be ran as efficiently. We are here today to address, as my fellow colleague has said, some of the concerns we have as part-time employees in the bargaining contract. We have been denied or postponed this contract, as Nancy has mentioned. As a part-time assistant, we are asked to work many special events, such as the Halloween event, Winter Festival, and Youth Conference, to name a few. Me and my fellow colleagues work long hours to prep for it, before, during, and after. These hours cut into our regular scheduled hours and brings up to our hour cap of whether we have a 1,500 or 980 hour cap. How is this fair if we are asked to work these events in dedication to our jobs? We love this city, and we want to continue to do this work. Most of us have been raised in this city, and we have participated in these programs ourselves. Do we choose to continue to work these events to help with our city supervisor when at the end of the fiscal year, we do not have hours to continue. If this can be revisited or we can modify this in our contract to help this issue further in the future. Secondly, we want to ask about the part-timers having additional paid holidays in comparison to our full-timers. They have 14 to 15 holidays, and we only have 4. We are asked to work those days and keep the facility running, and we are also parents,
Mayor, that's 2
caretakers,
minutes.
and friends. Thank you.
Thank you.
Susanna Carrasco.
3 minutes. Please stand. That means you can't speak. I only need 5 of you. Okay.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Good evening, council members. My name is Susana Carrasco, and I work for the Early Childhood Education Department. I proudly served this city for 13 years. I come before you not just as an employee, but as someone who has dedicated over a decade of loyalty, hard work, and heart to the same responsibilities held by my full-time workers. I got you, Mike. I'm sorry, that's me. Despite my time and commitment, I currently have no guaranteed hours, no official job title, and no access to medical benefits. I perform the same duties as my full-time colleagues, shoulder to shoulder, day after day, yet I do so without the security or support system that they are rightfully given. I want to take a moment to highlight the truth that is often overlooked. Early childhood education is a profession. It requires formal education, ongoing training, and responsibility. Many of us in the department hold bachelor degrees in child development or related fields. We are not simply part of Parks and Recs. We are educators, mentor reporters, and first responders in emergencies, and licensed professionals who help build the foundation of a child's development. We complete state mandated trainings, and we continue to seek professional development to stay aligned with licensing requirements and best practice in early education. Our work is regulated, structured, and deeply impactful, not only for the children we care for, but for the families and communities we serve. As a preschool educator, I spend each day nurturing young minds, ensuring safety, promoting emotional well-being, and laying the groundwork for lifelong learning. This is not light work. It is physically and emotionally demanding. When educators like me don't have access to basic medical care, we are placed in a position where we are expected to care for others while not being cared for ourselves. Preventative health services, mental support, and access to general care are not luxuries, they are necessities. They ensure that we can continue to showing up for the children and families who depend on us. 13 years is not part-time, 13 years is not temporary. It's proof of value, commitment, experience. I'm asking today for what should already be in place: basic benefits, a clear job classification, and fair treatment equal to the work I perform. If our city values its workers, and I believe it does, then I urge you to look at employees like me, not as numbers, but as people. People who have been doing the job just without the title or the support. It's time for change, it's time for fairness, it's time for benefits. Thank you.
Thank you.
Christine Fuller. Good evening, Christine. You'll have 2 minutes.
I've worked part-time for the city in accounts payable or accounting division for almost 25 years. And I'm a single mom now. And the amount that the city pays for every year, our medical benefits go up. And it's really hard now for me to afford it. And the city has not paid or hasn't changed what they've paid for us for the last 17 years, from 2017. So I'm just asking for that, and also for a better increase in COLA, because we've all been dedicated employees. I feel like I've been dedicated, and I've been here a long time. So, I'm speaking for all the part-time people. Workers here that have given up, our time and our, I could have worked elsewhere, but I've chose to stay here because I've loved the people here and I love serving this community. Thank you.
Thank you.
Solomon Lopez and Michelle Ledesma. I can't see. I don't know if, are you collectively speaking together? Okay. Well, good evening to you both. You have 2 minutes.
Okay. Good evening, council members and Madam Mayor. My name is Solomon Lopez,
I'm Michelle Ledesma.
and we both have been working for the city for over 17 years. This year, we're both fortunate to be elected to represent our part-time ASME 809 members. We're both part of the negotiation team, but let me tell you, there were no negotiations occurring. We would present our items. The city negotiating team will respond. We will need to do our research. We will need to discuss this again in 2 weeks. Around a month ago, we received an email stating that this will be the city's last best final offer. How was this belief? We're more than willing to go back to the table, but only if the city is willing to actually discuss the items and negotiate, instead of just saying no to everything.
In addition to going back to the table, we would like to ask for more city-declared holidays. I can speak on behalf of myself when I work at the event center. When we're closed, we are not able to go into work on our regular scheduled days and get paid. I do the same work, I have the same titles as some full-time employees, and they're getting their days off paid. So we are hoping to go back to the table to get the 3 city-declared holidays paid. And in addition to that, you know, our healthcare benefits that I personally cannot afford the difference from what the city is paying to the premium cost. So those are just some of the items that we hope to go back to the table and negotiate with. So we do love working
Madam
for
Mayor,
the
that's
city.
2 minutes.
Oh, sorry. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bob Adams.
Getting ready to retire.
Hi, Bob. You
Hi,
have 2
Madam Clerk.
minutes.
I'm assuming I'm concluding this. So, I mean, everybody did a great job, Madam Mayor, Honorable Mayor, and City Council. I just wanted to add a little background on this. So, from 2027, the last contract, well, the contract expired in 2017. Okay, we went from 2017 until 2023 without a contract. That's 5 years without a contract. Now, during that time, there was minimum wage increases. That would happen. There was some compaction that occurred during that time, and if you recall, we had to file the unfair labor charge with the perp charge in order to get the table set. So understanding that, when we went to the table back in 2023, we did the city a favor, a solid. We said, you know what? We went through all of this. Let's just roll over the contract. We're not going to ask for anything else from 2017 to 2023. We just roll over the contract. All right, and then even this last proposal, if you recall, even for the first year, because we were now, the time had been delayed all the way to 2024. So we had been ready to negotiate for quite a while, like a whole year went by. And we hadn't got anything. We actually submitted our proposal, and I think we sat for like 6 months, something like that, without getting responses. All right, so at a certain point, we even came to the table and said, okay, we don't even want a COLA that first year. We'll go, 0, and then we'll go 2.44, okay? So I think that the thing that the members are feeling upset on is kind of like, it's like you wonder why they don't feel appreciated, okay? And you can see why they don't feel appreciated. It doesn't seem like we're bargaining over items that could be bargained for. Maybe taking another look at the benefits. Maybe the benefits that you actually have right now aren't working for the part-timers. The one you're actually giving right now. Revisiting that, but instead the answer is no, no, no. So we ask that you reconsider it and
Madam Mayor,
order
that's 2 minutes.
team to go back to bargain. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Robert Leslie. Good evening, Mr. Leslie. You have 2 minutes.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, as well to the council and staff. I want to speak to you on two parts, if I can, briefly here. First of all, I want to make sure that the Juneteenth, we got to understand that the struggle, the virtues in the struggle and not in the prize. So hopefully that people appreciate the Juneteenth there with that. The other thing is, it's like many of the residents at your last meeting, they really appreciate the fact that yourself, Madam Mayor, as well as the other officials, was able to be there and share the information that you were there to share with them. And the other aspect that I'm sharing here this evening, I've been in quite a few meetings here in the last few weeks, whether we're talking about the indivisible organization, the 350, or the fraternal or police order or police and whatnot. 2 out of the 5 people that I look at, they truly have concerns about this impact, what will happen with this tariff. They don't sit there and deal with them, trying to get homes, with car, being laid off, and other aspects of things. And we still haven't seen the reconciliation bill that come into play at this point that's going to hit the economy with another probably $2 or $3 trillion here. With that said, many of the residents weekly still ask me, will these programs have a direct impact on the service, the quality of the livelihood and stuff in Carson here? Will we end up with layoffs and things in Carson? And I tell them that we need to probably have that addressed to a town hall meeting, because they want me to do the meetings. But I think that the town hall meeting would be more sufficient if that be done. This is why I'm here, to let you know. And
Madam Mayor, that's 2 minutes.
thank you.
Thank you.
And the people say thank you for the new ordinance for the fireworks.
All right.
That concludes public comment, Madam Mayor.
Okay.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I'd like to make a comment about the part-time workers in the city of Carson. You know, part-time used to mean temporary, maybe they only work one season, but a lot of our part-time workers are permanent employees, and they work long hours, and so maybe we can have a different approach. I know we don't handle personnel matters, but we do handle policy matters. And I think it should be the policy of the city of Carson to reevaluate how we negotiate with the Ask Me part-time employees. They're just as dedicated, just as hardworking, just as capable as our full-time employees. And I would like to see the city of Carson treat these employees with greater appreciation. And so maybe we could bring something back on the city council as far as direction from the city council to direct our staff that when they negotiate with Ask Me Local 809 part-time employees, that we approach it differently than in the past, where companies or agencies, government agencies, utilize part-time employees only to have a low-paid labor force that doesn't have much power. In the city of Carson, we are a union town, and we need to live up to that word of being a union city. That's my opinion, and I think we need to move forward with a different approach, a more pro-employee, pro-union policy by the city of Carson. I'd like to see something on the city council where we actually can vote to direct our staff to address the part-time employees in a much more positive manner than we have recent years. 5 years without a contract is really unacceptable. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Council members request that item. Well, we just did that. All communications, council members. Doctor?
Oh, I should have pressed. I'm gonna have to agree with Jim and put that, if we can get that on the agenda. But I would like to, Public Works, as I was in University Heights, they talked about no sidewalk coming up University as they're walking past the college. Would that property belong to the college? Or would that, as you're walking down the street, it's on the opposite side, there's sidewalks. But is there any way that we can get sidewalks by University Heights as they're walking up towards University Heights?
Where there's dirt right now?
Where there's dirt, it turns like, it has a sidewalk up a portion of Central. No, that's University, of a portion of University. But as you walk up University, it kind of, it goes into a dirt, where the velodrome starts.
I believe that belongs to the university, but I will do some further research, but I'm pretty sure that belongs to the university. If it does not, then I hear what you're saying, and we'll look at putting that in a future CIP program.
Is it possible we can write it, if it does belong to the university, maybe this council can write a letter to see if they can improve that side of the street, as it's been an ongoing issue for years, or who owns it, so we don't want to encroach it. That was one. Also, when I was in University Heights, they wanted to know about a light. I told them I would bring that up, a light turning out of University, that we would get our engineering staff to look at it. They also asked me, yes, sir.
Can you clarify a little bit on the light that?
It's the same area on University and I believe Howard or Pepperdine where you turn in. They also asked, with the 28 Olympics coming up, if it would be possible to get a gate going into their community. Got this. I told them I would say it. So, yeah. So and knowing that when they built the homes, they didn't build enough of a setback to go, but they still wanted to know if there was something that the city could do with the, as far as housing is concerned, as far as traffic is concerned, if they would put a gate there, and then also a speed bump that in the middle of the street, Pepperdine. Those were the things that I got. They want University Heights. They want a gate.
Yeah, they got an HOA.
Huh?
Yeah.
They can get one. You think they can get one?
No, we can do
Two gates, one at each end.
That's like
Yeah.
putting a gate at my house.
Yeah. That's what they wanted. All right. And then I understand that on Thursday from 10 to 12 that they're in the Mighty District 1. There's a Sprouts press conference at 10 a.m. In the Mighty District 1, and wanted to let everybody know that we are, Sprouts is coming in the Mighty District 1 at 10 a.m. In the Mighty District 1, 619 University Drive, and it is our,
Lots of press.
Lots of press. So who all these people y'all hiring, we want to make sure they know how to hire press. All right. That's all I gotta say. And happy June. We won't be back before Juneteenth. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there doing your thing. Your children need your presence more than they need your presence. All right. All right, fathers.
Let's see. Councilman Deere, you spoke. You want to speak again?
I spoke.
Yeah.
What I was speaking was about the public comment. Now we're on the agenda item.
Okay.
Council members request to add items to the future agenda. So, of course, I would like to see what I just mentioned on the agenda, but I'm also asking about the status of a previous request that we have a public reward for arrest and conviction of a cold case that's being dealt with, and I think the city staff was going to talk with the captain and the detectives, the sheriff's station. There was a murder some 30 years ago that I believe the detectives are reopening the case. That's what I've been told by LaWanda Hawkins and Dan Valdez, and they said they can give the details to the city staff if you contact them. So, any status on that yet? That was at the last council meeting.
I know that if that's the case, we probably sent that over, if I recall, to Captain Norman. I don't have an update, but I can get an update and provide it to you, sir.
All right, thank you. That's
This is a reward. We already have a policy for reward. So only thing we need to do is say we want to do a reward for, you have the name and everything?
we'll have to get it. From
Yeah,
the
that can be added to the agenda because we already set a policy on what the maximum would be, and that's,
Right, we have that. So can we add it to the next agenda?
yes.
Okay, thank
Okay.
you.
Councilman Hicks.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. A couple of items. First off, happy Father's Day for the fathers. And on June the 15th, it'll be my 5th annual Father's Day ice cream giveaway from noon to 5 at Ken's Ice Cream. So come and get you some ice cream. A couple of items. The traffic signal at the corner of Delamo and Tejada and at Helmick and Central. It seems to be a problem with the trigger. When you pull up to the light at certain times of the day, it does not trigger or change. Many people end up running the light, and that's going to cause a problem. The left-hand turning lane is one that's happening at Tejada and Delamo. And when you're on Tejada, going either east or west on Delamo, preferably when you're going east, it doesn't allow a green light. You'll sit there for at least 30 minutes to 45 minutes before the light will even change. So those are two issues that have been come up behind those two intersections locations. And the last part, I just want to say
Councilman.
Congratulations to all the graduates.
Excuse me, Councilman. Can you give me the first signal again?
The first signal is at Helmick and Central Avenue. That light doesn't always trigger. You have to actually come up right before the crosswalk, and maybe if you hit it right, it'll change. If you're not, you'll sit there forever. That one will not change. And the second one, you have it at Delamo and Tejada. Perfect. And then the last one is about congratulations to all of our graduates in the city of Carson. We're in graduation season, and congratulations to all of our graduates as they go on to their next chapter in their lives.
Yes, thank you. Just a reminder, this Saturday is the Philippine Independence Day celebration at Veterans Park, 8 a.m. Martin Navarro is our headliner, and so please come out for that. And I want to say Happy Father's Day to my dad in heaven, Alfred Malada Bocatia, and all the fathers here. Have a great weekend. Yes. Yes. That's it. Thank you.
Before I go to Dr. Hilton here, I was honored, and I didn't know the extent of it. Go on, Councilwoman.
Madam Mayor was honored by the LA Business Journal
LA
this
500.
past week. Yes, and it was the first for the city of Carson and the first for Madam Mayor, and it was a very well-attended event in downtown LA at the Jonathan Club. Many major businesses in the city of LA and in other cities there. So very, very proud of Madam Mayor. And she gave a great speech. We were there along with Mayor Butts of the city of Inglewood. But we are the jewel of South Bay, and everybody there, we're loud and proud. And we have, we're moving on up, and they're really identifying the city of Carson as a destination city. They all know that we will be part of World Cup 2026, and then LA 28, the Olympic Games. So congratulations, Madam Mayor, for putting us on the map all over Southern California and in the state of California. So kudos. So thank you.
Well, I didn't know what to expect when I went, and I just said, yes, I'll go. But to be honored and recognized as one of the LA's top 500 shakers and makers in LA, that meant a lot to me. And to say that we are doing great things in the city of Carson, because everyone wanted to know, what are you guys doing in the city of Carson? It made me feel good, honored, and proud. I did the opening. I just thought I was going to do a welcome. But to say that you're one of the top 500 leaders, that's saying a lot, you know. And I was nominated. So it wasn't I was nominated. The city of Carson was well represented and well recognized. And I just felt honored. And I told Butts, well, we did this in 4.5 years, you know, so it was quite an honor to be there with all of the major players and to say they knew Carson. That made me feel good. We're no longer the laughing stock of the South Bay. Everyone, I've got business cards the councilwoman did saying, I need to sit down and talk to you about what you guys are doing in the city of Carson. I said, come on. I said, come to the city of Carson. We'll let you know. We'll share all this information. And I want to say that's to the team that's been assembled here that's making this city the jewel of the South Bay. You guys work around the clock. You're doing some phenomenal things under the leadership of our city manager. And I just want to commend you and say thank you, because I can walk into a conference now and I can hold my head up. Now people are coming and say, here comes that mayor from Carson. And I feel so honored. And that's what happened all during the event. And when I went to Palm Springs, Mayor, can I talk to you? Mayor, can we sit down and talk to you? We've never had that before. And so it's not me. I'm just a face. It's about you, the team that makes this machine run, and it's running on all cylinders. So thank you. Then, now that I've said that, In-N-Out made some promises to us when they built. We gave them permission to open up without that signal. And I think now that they're open, they're kind of dragging their feet. In-N-Out Burger, because we didn't have to let them open. And so I'm getting calls from our residents, what's going on, or when are we going to get that signal? So could you please circle the wagon, tell them it's not something that we have forgotten about, because they made a promise. And I think now everybody's talking about the supply chain. I can guarantee you if we had not let them open that facility, that light would be there. So as fast as we sign the approval to allow them to open, they need to be putting the light up as though they promised. Okay?
Madam Mayor, what are they not doing that they said they would do?
The signal. It's supposed to be a signal master.
Yes, Madam Mayor and Council. So there was a signal that they were supposed to be putting in, and from my understanding, the last update we received, they're having just like really supply issues. Primarily, there's some steel and aluminum that they're trying to obtain, and unfortunately, because of the tariffs, it's caused the backlog, and so I think the projection they had was another month.
Another month. You think they would not have opened that if we had said no? They'd have that light up sometimes I say it's by any means necessary, because it would have cost them money not to open it In-N-Out. And so our residents are not happy about the fact that promises were made, they've been open, and it's not happening. So put some pressure on them and say, tell them we're going to give them a temporary closure.
No more doubles, just singles.
Yes, so thank you again. And let's see, we're going to have, Doctor.
I had a resident reach out, and they're talking about the food, and but I told them I would say it tonight. Talking about the food that's given out through at the community center. Maybe it's by the YMCA. That the food is please tell their services has been discontinued. They're no longer serving or delivering to senior community. It's frozen, contaminated, rotten, not labeled properly, toxic fish, etc. All these are total violations and guidelines for senior meals for residents in Carson, California. So a resident is saying that the food is rotten.
That was a one-time incident or ongoing?
She's saying it's ongoing. That
Oh
it's,
my goodness.
it's packaged, it's
You didn't go to the
frozen, it's not healthy. I sent you a picture the other day of some food that was picked up or delivered to her.
Right. It would be a lot easier if we knew exactly where they're picking it from. I don't know if they're talking about from Meals on Wheels or are they talking about the free food that they give out once a month at the community center in the parking lot.
I believe it's
a few places.
I believe it's the Meals on Wheels, not the free. It's not the free food they're giving out in the parking lot. Because this has been a constant, and then this has been a constant issue.
Every meal is tainted.
Yeah, she says from like a different place that they're not. It's a different place. I looked up the address. It looked like it was local. She said it's not local or anything that.
I'll look into it.
So if we can get something for that, also.
I will say this is the first complaint that I have received.
Okay. And then also she said that she's been reaching out to the Congresswoman's office, and I've reached out to the Congresswoman's office for her. And she said they had not responded, so she wanted me to say that tonight as well. But I also want to say happy graduation to all three of my daughters. They're all graduating this year. So I want to say happy graduation to all three of them.
Oh,
Where you taking them?
Each of them want to go to a different restaurant, and everybody want to go somewhere. So got to figure it out.
Councilman Deere, and then we're going to go into
Memorial adjournments?
Yes.
Yeah, I just want to say happy Father's Day to everyone and looking forward to this weekend's event in the mighty District 2 at Veterans Park, Philippine Independence Day. As all of our festivals and activities in Carson, it's open to all ethnic groups. All residents and visitors are welcome, and we encourage all people to come to all of our events. And then followed closely by Juneteenth, another event open to everyone, and we want to encourage everyone to attend that as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Memorial adjournments.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. These are the names that I received today. Former Congressman Charles Rangel from New York, Renato Bautista Santos, Betsy Ali Ifua, Edward Lee Brandon, Jesse Mack, Christian Payton.
Yes, Jesse Mack was married to Eleanor Mack. He passed. Your neighbor.
On Gladwick, yeah.
He passed 93. So keep her in our prayers because she is lost without him. So, Mr. Bishop, Doctor.
Yes, Madam Mayor. Father, you've heard the names that were read tonight. We pray that you bless those families. We pray that you would comfort them and strengthen them. In Jesus' name, I pray. Amen.
Any comments from staff, Mr. City Manager?
Yes, just thank you, Madam Mayor. I just want to thank staff for putting together great presentations tonight. And I wanted to publicly apologize for being distracted while my daughter was dancing with her team, Kid Clippers. But I'm happy to report that they got 4 yeses, standing ovation, and they're moving on. So I'm excited. So I'm happy. Thank you.
Thank you. I thought you were going to leave, but okay. Well, hearing no other comments, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone.